Usually you're making a bottoming reversal pattern. Good luck finding those today, but I'm sure Dara and Obi will do their best.
We're long Apple again.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, yo, yo. Hi, I forgot I had to talk. Hi, I'm Dara. This is Obi, collectively known sometimes as Adobe, long ADBE. And yeah, not long this market though right now. I am in a reversion short. I believe you are also still in your reversion short. I'm currently trading Amazon, oh boy. So we'll talk about that in a moment. But right now, we're going to welcome everybody as they come in. Hello, Darwin. Hello, live trading by TradingTV.live. Hello, Bears versus Bulls. Hello, Brandon Townsend. Hello, Vic Young, Novak, 9-5 Grind, Jeremy Newman, Big Asian, Bazooka, 407. We got STK Tupac. Shout out to Tupac. A Rose that grew from concrete. Let's look here at 1320 Wolf, Easy Media. We got Afterstar. We got Random Oddities, Chef Joe, Crazy True, TH, Marie S. Lyman, Nunya Fizz, Cell Queen 88, Soul 8, or Soul G, Picky Eater, Raul. I'm not going to name everybody, but thank you guys so much for being here with us today. I will talk about my Zon in a moment here, but how are you doing with your trades over here, Obi?
Not too bad, not too bad. I did come in a little later than usual, unfortunately. Some delays in the morning, and I checked the charts. Well, I did check them in the morning around like 6, 7 a.m. And I was like, all right, cool. We might be poised for a little bit of a run after that 50 point cut yesterday. And yeah, oh boy, did that bid come in real hot off of the open. Unfortunately, I was late. So I was like, all right, well, that's fine. This is, we talk about let things set up for you. I like the reversion trades for the most part. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to let it run. I'm going to look for that trend to kind of break the trend, to kind of break down, and then get on the side of the reversion. So I came down, I sat down, I saw Apple. I was like, oh boy, Apple. Definitely want to take a bite out of this one today on the backside if it'll give it to me. Looking for a reversion to VWAP here. But we're trading at 227.96 is just shy of 228. Nice little downtrend into VWAP. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a pullback. You can see right here, I have a 15-minute on both the NQ and the ES, and you can see what a trend on the NQ, guys, since the morning session right here. A little bit of a shake and bake. This is I think pretty sure this is some of yesterday's price action there. We hold 19 halves in the morning session, and look at that trend, beautiful trend to the upside. 19 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s. We make it all the way up to, and now we're getting a little bit of a pullback, holding within trend on the larger picture here. Gonna stay watching that. Wow, Meta. I thought Meta was like bending, and Meta rips for some fresh highs right there. Oh boy. Okay, so that one is definitely not ready just yet. But Apple poised for a little bit of a touch on VWAP. That's what I'm looking for. Let's see if we can have some of that there. Prior bar lows on the 15 broke a couple candles ago, and I have VWAP sitting at 227.5. So let's see if 227.5. We're only about 40 pennies roughly away from that. So. Let's see if that, or 30 pennies away from that. Let's see if that can potentially come in here, and let's see what VWAP has in store for us. But hopefully you guys had a piece of the long there. I know not everything ripped off of the open there. There were definitely other markets which kind of sold off as well. So yeah, hopefully you guys have banked in on this run up here. I just remembered I don't have the chat open just yet. I'm going to do that right now. No, what's going on with you? How's your reversion? Oh, I see that. Okay, you can talk.
I didn't get filled. That was the thing. So I had the fill initially 189.01s, did not get filled. I moved it to 189.05s. We'll see. I'm trying to take out half here. I think we're going to get stopped out because I have my stop here at prior bar high, which is going to be 189.46. I got short 189.49s. So it's more or less break even. The reason I moved it is because I was like, honestly, if it's going to pop that much, maybe this was a conservative. I've talked a lot about my stops are too conservative, but we're trying to improve a little bit day by day. And honestly, I'd rather at this point, I think. For right now, I think it's a level that makes sense for the stop. I don't love that 189 bounce. Specifically, whole dollar level bounce is never a vibe. The reason I like 189 beyond it being a whole dollar level is if you look, there was some kind of interaction here, a little bit on a wick basis. I think on the 3 minutes clear, we got stopped out anyway, but I'll keep yapping about why I like this trade. There was some interaction at the 189 here earlier in the 3 minute. Clearly, though, I was too conservative with my stop. Story of my life. But it's all good there. We'll figure out what happens there. Meta, though, okay, I was just going to be like, I do like Meta as a reversion potentially, but I need to wait for that. So before I got my T, I was going to get a stink bid here on Meta at 557. Why didn't I? I don't know. But META unwatched. I wish there was some tea to be spilled there. I don't want to spill my actual tea. I'm drinking tea. But also, guys, just so you know, you cannot vote right now. We do not have, for the second day in a row, I mean, you vote for like elections. But in terms of our afternoon segment, no voting now for the second day in a row. Soon that segment will return, hopefully. But Sharif not being here, that's going to be what happened there. Tushar asking about my MA, what MA I'm using, what's the crossover logic to enter a trade. Honestly, MAs I'll usually use more if it's interacting with it. Like I think Sharif says a lot of it's interacting, then you can play. If they're not, then you don't really need to use them. This Amazon trade was just basically we were below VWAP. I liked the action on the book at 189.50s. My stop was too conservative. One other stock I'm looking at though before we get into the lesson that I think must have been tailor-made for our substitute here, Obi. Thank you again for Obi, by the way, for being with us. We greatly appreciate it. I like Darden restaurants. So this one, earnings report, gross, okay? They missed on sales and missed on earnings per share, but they're like, oh, we're partnering with Uber for deliveries. With Olive Garden, which, okay, I'm from Winnipeg. Winnipeg has a ton of Olive Gardens. My neighborhood in Winnipeg, shout out Transcona, actually, like, if you grew up there, you went to Olive Garden for every family event, school event, grad, whatever. So they already have delivery. It's actually not news, but I guess their partnership with Uber, a good look. I like DRI as a long here. We're holding VWAP really nicely. Also, this 170.90 area was, I don't remember what chart it was that I was looking at it, but it was pretty spicy. And now we will never know. No, I'm joking. I'll have to find. I'll look through my charts and find it because I was doing some mental charting at the big desk and I should have written better notes. But that 170.90 area, I really like. I'm going to go long before we start the lesson here. I'm going to go long 170.50s. I'm going to try to build a position here. I'd be adding if we get 170s. I'll get long. I'll add at 170, 150s, and then I want to be taking some profit here at 174. I'll also be risking into 170.50. So I think that makes sense. Risking 50 cents, looking to. You know, the risk reward wise, it's like minimum like 3 to 1.5. So math. Sorry, we overslept last night, but we're here, we're alive. Darden on my side chart, SMCI, SPY, Coinbase, Broadcom, IWM, Palantir, Intel. Anything you want to say before we get into that lesson here?
Nothing too much. I'm just kind of just watching my position here. I do have the chat open now. Bit of a bounce happening over there. Par bar highs are breaking on some I think a 5-minute right there, but we're still holding underneath the moving average. It's funny that somebody asked about the moving averages, and I was like, moving average crossover what? No, but I'm joking. I do like using the EMA just as an indicator to kind of point out trend. It doesn't necessarily dictate any sort of decisions for me. Like I'm not getting in on a crossover or anything like that. I think that's I don't know. I don't trade like that. So I'm just going to keep it at that. Yeah, a little bit of a flush. Look at that. Oh boy. There it comes in. Hard selling on the market. You know what? I'm going to get out of the way. Market just tanked. So if you're going to do that, then maybe I don't want to be sitting right on top of VWAP. But I will see that come in. Let's see, 19.8 is what I'm watching right now. That was some aggressive selling right there. Bit of a flush. You can see right here. You can see that right there. We slowed down here. I like instead of the moving averages, I do like just using just candles and different frames of candles and relative difference between them as more of a stronger indicator. But yeah, we're getting some strong selling coming in here. Let's see if we can continue down into VWAP. What will VWAP be? 227.44 is here on Apple Adera. But without any further ado, I feel like we have an interesting lesson on board today.
Yeah, I wonder why you'd be interested in this particular lesson, given an ongoing recurring theme. No, I'm joking. Oh, good times there. Okay, so I am also, by the way, in Darden. I've set my stop there, so we're good there. I also tried to get back into the Amazon short and then did not get filled, so I'll talk about my woes later. But right now we are talking about rounded bottoms. So basically what we're going to do is help you understand how to identify and analyze these markets in the wild using key elements. For example, pattern structure is going to be huge here, volume behavior, market psychology, breakout confirmation, and some trading strategies. But yeah, so basically, to start, rounded bottom or a saucer pattern, but like who calls them that? Not anyone on this desk. It's a reversal pattern, basically signaling the transition from a downtrend to an uptrend. And it's going to be a rare formation, but it's pretty powerful. You usually observe it over longer time frames, though of course it can happen on an intraday basis as well. And it'll basically indicate a gradual change in the sentiment of the market. So how does this form? It's going to take place over an extended period. Okay, sorry, here's an example of a double top. I think this is from yesterday's lesson accidentally. But yeah, so basically it's going to form here over a longer period of time, and it's going to signal a bullish reversal after a prolonged downtrend. So it usually appears as a U-shaped curve, reflecting a gradual decline in price. Then it kind of stables out. We hold, then we curve all the way back up, and it'll rise pretty gradually there. It's unlike sharp reversals. You're not going to get any like... It'll unfold pretty slowly. It'll give you time to observe what's happening, and then you might want to get it on the backside of the move, potentially, right? That's what you want to be having your eyes out for. So some key aspects here include the downtrend phase. It's usually going to be having the market declining with diminishing momentum. So we peter out in terms of volume, things slow, they base out. The candles might get a little bit smaller as we get to the base. Then you're going to see some consolidation where you've got the price flattening out. That's going to be the midpoint of the pattern, right? So after that point, you have the move down. This is a reversal pattern. So guess what happens next? We come back all the way up, or not all the way up, but like we come back up. And so this will be a slow, steady rise in prices, which indicate their shift towards a more bullish sentiment. So how does volume behave here? Declining volume is going to be usually happening here during the downward phase and the flat base, which shows reduced selling pressure. It's just kind of buyers and sellers kind of chilling out at this level as we wait for something to happen. Then we'll get an increase in volume, right? That's what we're kind of waiting for. That's when you've got the price starting to rise with increasing volume, which signals some accumulation and renewed buying interest. The sellers have kind of stepped out for a bit, and the buyers are waving hello. And then you'll have your volume spike. So that's when you're going to have a nice increase in volume here near the breakout, which confirms here the strength of that upward move. So the psychology of this pattern is pretty key as well. The rounded bottom is going to be reflecting the market shift from bearishness to bullishness, which again characterizes this gradual change in sentiment. So the early downtrend here shows some pessimism. You've got traders like getting a little bit frustrated by this move. You've got some selling. Then you've got a consolidation. So you've got prices flattening out a bit. The bears are, pulling back. There's less of a roar.
Couldn't even get
you've got
to
it
the
waning.
so
The buyers are going to start to show some interest. Then we'll get your uptrend, right? Confidence is going to start slowly building. Buyers are going to be pushing prices higher. And then you have some more optimism. So we go from pessimism in the downtrend to optimism in the uptrend. What is the emojis I'm seeing in the shadow, B? Okay. Oh, my. Okay. Maybe that's what the buyers are doing is they push up higher. They're making that emoji face. Yeah. Sure, that's definitely what you meant by that. Then we also have breakout confirmation. So that's going to be the most key part of this pattern, okay? That's when what you have when you've got the price rising above the resistance formed at the start of that downtrend. So some key factors to watch out for include the resistance level. So you've got that usually forming near the start of a pattern. Then you're going to see that breakout in volume. Go, Darden. That's when you've got the price breaking through resistance, confirming the validity of the reversal. So a proper breakout here should be accompanied by higher volume, which signifies that new buyers are entering this here market. And then you're going to talk about some trading strategies, right? So once you have the pattern identified, how are you going to trade it? The entry point's going to be huge. You might want to be entering the trade when you've got the price breaking above the resistance with strong volume. Then where do you place your stop, you may ask? Well, we don't give advice. Just, these are tools. They're never rules. But a logical stop loss place could be, for example, just right below the lowest point of the pattern. That can help you manage some risk. What about your price target, you may ask? Well, we talked a lot about how these reversal patterns can be really helpful in having some built-in price target calculations just based on how they form. But it is worth noting here, it's usually calculated by measuring the vertical distance from the lowest point of the pattern to the resistance and projecting that upward from the breakout point. Now, what about how does this method help, right? Well, this method can be really good in terms of your trading strategies because it gives you reliable R&R, reliable risk-to-reward ratio, especially because we talked about a lot of these longer-term uptrends, right? It's going to be pretty key in longer-term time frames where you have a slow, gradual development. That's, again, usually, not always, but usually where you'll see some of these patterns form. So how reliable is this pattern? It's going to be considered a highly reliable pattern, but it's more commonly observed, as we said, in longer time frames. You always want some more confirmation, or dare I say, confluence as well, with all of your patterns as well. But what about, and basically this pattern does indicate, right, a solid sustained reversal. It's not going to be like a quick, you're going to, what was that sound? I'll never know. It was a solid, sustained, a gradual move back up, and it's an ideal for traders and investors to position themselves with that in mind. What about the time frame? So you want to be patient. It does take some time for this to form, but because it takes time to form, sometimes the best things in life take time. They're not going to be immediate. You're not going to notice your gains in the gym right away. what was that analogy? I don't know. But you want to be patient with this pattern because it does take some time to develop. The best things in life take time. This is a really good reversal pattern, or it can be anyway, but it's not going to happen right overnight. So to conclude and to recap, this is going to be a gradual, powerful signal for market reversal. Key elements here include you want to identify that U-shaped formation. You want to wait for to confirm that pattern with some volume analysis. You want to see a breakout above resistance before you get involved in that there trade. And then you want to use some proper risk management, stop losses, and price targets. So this can yield strong returns, especially in markets that take time to develop some trends. So that is the lesson over here today. Hopefully you guys learned a little something from that. And yeah, shout out. I definitely feel like this lesson was made with Obi in mind. So shout out to Obi. How are you doing over here in Apple?
Not too bad. Yeah, no, I like that pattern, like the rounded bottom. I definitely have I guess an affinity to that pattern because more often than not, it comes in and around the end of the backside. Right, so that is it's like a pearl. It's like the backside is done. Majority of the selling is kind of out of the ticker. It's an area where maybe where a supply and demand start to balance after an imbalance of supply, right? Of heavier supply, you come in, the backside kind of starts to slow down. All the selling kind of gets out of it. Even like bad news, even bad news can't even sell the ticker off as much anymore. And that I feel like is the best part of kind of recognizing kind of a rounded bottom. It's like, all right, well, bad news keeps coming out on this ticker, and it cannot sell off anymore. It's done all the selling that it really can, and then maybe we're poised for a little bit of an upside move because it's failing to follow through on the downside. Now, there's a lot of tickers that if you look back at it, you can definitely see that rounded bottom pretty nicely here. So Netflix, I think, is definitely one of them. So I'm going to pull this up on a higher time frame. We can kind of talk about how Netflix kind of reached back to its I guess former glory. Yes. So let me just pull it up here on a higher time frame. Let's go to weekly actually, right here. Boom. So bottom not that rounded, a bit sharp. It's a bit of a sharp bottom, but again, you can see here strong backside and then nice little, like it cannot sell off anymore, and you get that like mini kind of rounded bottom confluencing with that 200 mark. Now there's other tickers here as well that give you a more gradual kind of rounded, and I think one of them is Carvana. I know Sean really likes this one right here, and this one is, I guess, almost a textbook example of a rounded bottom right here. You can see this thing was trading at $375 in and around 2021, 2022, and then look at the pullback. Aggressive selling, beautiful backside move, but then it finds a base, makes a rounded bottom. Look how round that is. You got a nice little dip right there. $3.55 at the lows right there, and then trading at 169.50s right here as of right now. So you can see a prime example of a rounded bottom here. And then this is like bigger picture reversion as well, because yeah, you have a strong bid taking you all the way from 25s to 375s, and then you get the full-on reversion within like 6 months. It took you about 2 years to get that high, and then within 6 months you get a strong reversion back down, and then look at that rounded bottom that brings us about 30% back to the reversion of the downside right here. So yeah, I do definitely like my rounded bottoms at Era. So I think it's a very strong pattern, even for especially for a long-term kind of view there. But yeah, no, that's what I have to say about that one there. Market kind of came back up to 19.9, but take a look at Apple. Apple barely could get past this 228.5, while the market kind of did a bounce off of 19.8 and then pushed all the way up for a test of 19.9. So I do like that. Maybe the bid has dissipated significantly, but what do I know? I'm just waiting patiently for the next trade here. Again, like I said, I did come in a little late, but I was like, all right, you know what? We missed the longs off of the open. That was beautiful, absolutely crazy. Look at that, 225s. Oh boy, 225s to 229 halves, 229 70s, and then we take a nice little pullback into 227 halves. 2.5, so just above VWAP. Can't even sell off to VWAP, so that is something that I am keeping in mind as well on Apple today. But yeah, let us know what you guys are trading. I would love to know. Yeah, is there anything that's overextended? Because I think that Apple did extend a little bit there, but we got the reversion to VWAP. Am I asking for too much? Maybe, but let's see if we can bid back up towards this 229s, or do we come back down in towards 227s right here? Market very strong, riding on that 50 basis point cut on the FOMC. The reversion man definitely came yesterday, and he brought with him some, I guess, potential market gifts.
Oh yeah, he did. The reversion man cometh indeed over there. Right now, Amazon. Okay, so Call me a fool, whatever. I cannot believe that I moved my stop the way I did with that first Amazon. That was like flagrant. I don't know what that. We're not going to deal with that. That's going to be conversation for me and my journaling. But basically, yeah. So what happened there with that initial short was I was initially risking into 190s. I moved my stop to prior bar high in the 5 minute. There was no reason to do that. I hadn't added. I was just like, oh, like whatever. Get it. I don't know what that was. It was some kind of weird trading. So we're going to have to deal with that for a moment. But basically what happened here is I got back short. And initially, I was actually thinking of going long here if we broke above 189.50s. Because the push above it into it was pretty strong, but then we couldn't get 50. So I said, if we break below 30s, Adara, AMZN is still a short. 30s was an area that once we broke below, it was pretty spicy on the way down. And then when we tried to break back up, we were bouncing off 30s for a bit. The plan was always, I wasn't going to get long 30s. I was going to get long 50s, risk into 30s. We couldn't get... We couldn't have that, so I decided to flip short. I got short here at 189.25s. I'm risking into 189.50s because, like I said, if we get above 50s, I don't want any of that, and then I'll go long. That's the plan here with AMZN. Darden restaurants here. So actually, oddly enough, I think. Oh, thank you. We're gonna talk about that in a moment. But right now, we're first gonna thank our friends at Benzinga Pro. So, are you tired of being late to the trade? Are you always playing catch up with the market? Are you missing on the big moves? Because you're too slow to the news. Benzinga Pro is your unfair advantage. So what you can do here is get breaking news alerts up to 30 minutes before everyone else, okay? And you can pinpoint exactly why stocks are moving, and you get to join a community full of traders who are just sharing their strategies in the real world in real time here. So are you ready to see how Benzinga Pro can transform your trading? Well, all you have to do is visit benzinga.com/pro and get a free 14-day trial. Start to Benzinga Pro. Also, yeah, so Darden restaurants here. I'd like my Olive Garden to have some nice green trees here to the upside in this long. Unfortunately, my Olive Garden is a little bereft of greenery. I'm risking here just below 50s, basically this area that we had this support here earlier. I initially kind of liked this. I thought we were rounding out a bit at VWAP, especially with that higher low that I guess the support that we had at 169s. I like that look. And we are still bouncing off VWAP. Look at all of these green olives coming in here on that tape. I need to stop making Olive Garden jokes, but I can't think of any other restaurants for Darden as of right now. So let's see what happens here in DRI. I will be adding, as I said, if we get above all of this resistance earlier here at 171.50s, then I'll be the profit taking area is going to be 174. I don't even think I'll save pieces for dreams because to me that's just a really strong area. So that's the plan here on DRI. Other names I'm looking at here, Mobileye, I had levels on. I'm pretty sure we've blown through them all, but I want to take a look here just in case because, okay, Mobileye. We're going to push back for Mobileye. So Mobileye, this line I drew here, this 1340s. I'm going to go to the daily chart so you guys can see what I mean because 1340s was a level that was spicy to me on the daily chart. Yes, okay, there we go. So my thought was either 1260s. If we can't fill this gap, we filled the gap, fine. But 1340s, look at this resistance here, or look at the support of the daily chart. Before we could do. It's at 1340s, right? So to me, that level, I was like, okay, if we can't break above that, it's a short. If we break above it, then you get long the breakout. I obviously missed going long the breakout, but this 1340s is interesting because high of day, right after 5:30 or 9:30, 1341s. I was like, okay, this is a real level. Then we get a new high of day, 1343s. I was like, wow, this would be a great long. And it is long, and I am not long in it. So that is a look there on Mobileye. I should be on my side chart because I do like the 1343 bounce. So I might kick, Coinbase. I might say bye to Coinbase. The only reason I'm a little hesitant to do that is because Coin right now is a nice little, bounce here off VWAP. I do apologize for the speed of my talking, guys, but the market does move really fast. I am trying to effectively, replicate the speed of the market and speak as quickly as these things move. So something I need to work on there, but let's see what we do here. Coinbase, I like the 170, 150s. Mobileye, I might like a bit better. You know what? SMCI, bye-bye from my side chart. Mobileye goes here. Coinbase, sitting on this daily chart. Or not the daily, Coinbase going on my side chart still. Just still chilling in Darden and Amazon. Let's see what shakes out. How are you doing, Obi?
Not too bad, not too bad. I'm just kind of watching this. We are getting a little bit of a bid off of VWAP there. So shout out to Sean. I know he's long down here, just above VWAP here, and I think you're almost a point in the money right there, right? I think so. Yeah, with the bounce. Let's. 227.65. So he's a point in the money. There it is right there. Boom. Nice little re-long right there as we bid right back up. So nice trade there, Sean, on that. I am watching this as well, and I was like, oh boy, yeah, I did kind of see some reasons to buy there. I covered a piece of it, but I'm kind of getting back in, looking for that lower high. Now that could not come. Right? It doesn't have to come. I'm more than willing to be wrong on this ticker and kind of re-engage and look for the next trade there. But yeah, no, the short definitely. I'm kind of getting a little bit of FOMO for not having enough where I did get short initially right there, just above that actually right at 229 halves. And we're trading almost back in, attempting to print the last quarter right there, 228.70s right now on Apple there. But something that is not reverting, Adara, and I know you're involved with it, is Amazon. Amazon is still kind of chilling near its lows as Apple is kind of bidding up. So Amazon acting distinctly different versus some of these other tickers here. Now I'm looking at NVIDIA. NVIDIA is pushing for its high of day as of right now, only about 8 pennies away from its high of day for the breakout long on NVIDIA. Let's see what we got in store for that one there. Alphabet kind of sideways, trading at 163s, 228 halves on Apple. We're watching that one. Softy sideways. I don't really, maybe a bit of a ranging action there on Softy. Not really too concerned with that one. And yesterday, when I was doing my scans last night, I was just like, well, what's in play? Well, after an FOMC, which was about 25 I guess, points more than expected, I think the market is in play. And it's very clear that the market is in play. When you come in on the day and you're like, oh boy, take a look at all of these tech names that are getting bought up. You can see, like last night I was looking at 8 p.m. close and the ES got bought up. Like the reversion came in the overnight session, and we kind of gapped up, opening a little bit higher today, coming into today, and that bid is definitely carrying over from yesterday. So, oh boy, indeed, I see you, Bears versus Bulls. Oh boy, indeed, man. So, well, let's see. The long off of yesterday's kind of dip off of the. I guess I was trading TQs. I think 66. I was like, oh, 66 is where the bid is at, and yeah, TQ's trading at 71s now. So a little bit of a bigger picture, potentially idea there. And we are trading a little bit higher on that FOMC rate cut that we got yesterday. So, and what's up, Fabian?
Remember to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss a single notification.
Yes, welcome. Oh, damn! I totally butchered that. It's like remember to hit the like and subscribe so you do not miss any of the notifications as well. Thank you, Fabian, for reminding me for that. I got a little jumbled because I was like, oh, what was the sentence again? But yeah, okay. So we're getting a little bit of a pullback here. 228.30s. Can we print the last quarter there? Can we get down to the quarter? 228s, and we bid back below. I do want to get a little bit more aggressive, and it seems like I missed a little bit of a tidbit there on the tape there as we pulled back in off of 228 halves. Let's see if we can pull back down into VWAP. VWAP sitting at 227s, or do we kind of consolidate and push a little bit higher there? 19.9s printing as of right now. But yeah, let me know in the chat what you guys are trading. I am curious to know what everybody is on today. Lot of opportunity here on the day. Tesla, I know Tesla was absolutely wild. Tesla is pushing up what is it? What's that low right there off of the open? 232, a bit of a lick grab of pre-market lows and absolutely wild, blasting off to the upside there. I did see Tesla on the walk here this morning, and I was like, all right, well, let me look at some of the strongest stocks and look at the potential contenders for the reversion. Shout out to Sharif. I know yesterday he called me out for shorting strong stocks. Oh boy. That is something I do like to do, but the thing is, there's a catch. You have to wait for that strength to dissipate. right? You know it's there because you're seeing the strength, and then you look for the strength to dissipate, to kind of get involved for a reversion scalp. Again, not looking for 100% reversion. Sometimes you get lucky with that. Sometimes you get that V-shape. You can see on Amazon, you did get pretty much almost a V-shape recovery there. Lows at 188.90s. You pull up to 191s, and then you pull all the way back down to 189. So almost 100% reversion happening there on Amazon. Definitely relatively weaker than the rest of the bunch here. I got TSM at high a day. I got AMD at high a day. NVIDIA, fresh highs on that one as well. And obviously, with all those tickers pushing their highs, SMH and TQs also pushing for the. Actually, TQs did not break its high of day just yet, but SMH has broken its high of day there. So definitely a lot of opportunity on the board there. I see Tony Price saying, check out SoFi when you get a chance. Let's take a quick look at SoFi.
No, SoFi was running this morning for sure.
Yeah, I think yes, I think yesterday as well. It was on volume scanners as well for me. SoFi, I guess, doing off of the open there. It seems like this volatility, this move that came in potentially off of the FOMC, we're trading within that range on SoFi. So definitely a lot of other tickers have broken out of their prior days, I guess, FOMC range prices, reference prices, if you want to call them there. But SoFi still trading within that range. So interesting price action nonetheless here on the day. How are you doing, Adara?
Yeah, I don't know how I'm doing. I'm making this face because Amazon, I actually think, every time I think I know what I'm doing, what's happening here in Amazon, Amazon's like, oh, are you sure? Like, you could be wrong. The reason I say that is because, hey, I got long where I did whatever. And you know how, shout out to Neil, or sorry, I got short. Shout out to, Neil and everybody, like, when in doubt, zoom out. Sometimes when in doubt, zoom in. Because when I zoom in here, what I see here is actually kind of bullish, in my opinion. I've talked about this a lot. When I see a bottom and then we get a double bottom, but only on a wick basis, to me, that's even more bullish because the prices couldn't even get to that level. They were like, actually, I'm just going to tease you. So that's why I decided to get out some of this earlier. Initially, the plan here was to get out the first piece at 188.80s, which was that double bottom. I don't know what we're going to get. I'm waiting till I get stopped out. I'm not going to move my stop. But I honestly feel like if we can't get a nice right down below 189 soon, it might flip to a long. I don't want to be too indecisive, though. I also want to talk about my decision to short meta near highs, or basically at all-time highs. So this is a choice. It was a choice I stand by for now. Why? Because I was watching the book and Meta was having a whole time at 559.50s. You know what else Meta is doing at 559.50s? Topping tail candle, topping tail candle, topping tail candle, topping tail candle. So I'm willing to risk $1 here. I'm risking to almost highs at one. My stop here is at around 560.50s, just below there. I honestly, I didn't take enough position. I took an L in this part because I forgot. I don't have the buying power to add into this. What I have here is what I'm going to have in this position. But that's fine. Once we get below here, I want to see us break nicely below that 558.30 area. So once we get below that area, that was kind of some previous support. If we crack below that nicely, I would like to see some hard downside. At that point, I will be switching my stop to prior bar highs, and I will be looking to see what we do at 557, because I think if we break below 557, where there's smoke, sometimes there is fire. Also, Amazon, oh my gosh, you actually did what I wanted you to do? Shocking. Shocking, I say. Please just punch you with Amazon. I would love, we're going to chill in this position. We're gonna ride this. I'm going to add back in here, or add a piece if we get to 189.08. I'm cool with that. 189.08, let's go. But honestly, if we keep staying, and I want to clarify why I like that level. That was that previous support area. I mean, hey, but Amazon, if you want to break down here, to be clear, I will just let you chill. If you break 188.80s, I am pleased as punch. At this point, we're going to chill. This is also where I would be moving my stops to prior bar highs. And I've talked about this a lot. One of the biggest things I'm working on right now as a trader is figuring out my exit rules, right? Because I feel like they're a little too conservative in some ways. Honestly, mostly they're just too conservative. They're weird and arbitrary in other ways. And you can figure out, as you have a playbook, part of your playbook should be, where am I trying to take pieces out? Where am I trying to add? Or these areas that make sense, right? So it's one of the biggest things I'm working on right now, just to kind of address that. With that in mind, Amazon, a little bit heebie-jeebie for now. I want to look at some tickers for other people right now. Someone was mentioning, was there a double top on the TQQs? I'll let you know. I usually, like I said, I'm not super comfortable trading the TQQs. I'm much more likely to trade the Qs because I think the leverage on the TQQs makes me do dumb things, to put it lightly. TQQs, I don't see a double top. I see a slightly lower high, which is also still bearish, much like the double top. But TQQ is bouncing off the 90 MA. Right now, honestly, I would like to see us break below that 70.85 level. That was a pretty hard resistance level earlier. If we can break below that, then I think that could be a bit more bearish because we know resistance and support can flip, right? So if we bounce off that level, that's not going to be a vibe. Also, I got stopped out of Darden. I meant to mention this. I mentioned this in the chat when it happened. We broke below VWAP. I got stopped out. If we get a hard break below here, like kind of below this shelfy area of 170.30s, I will short that. And I will start covering at 169s, but I don't know if we're going to necessarily get that. I don't want to rush into the trade. Happy I attempted the long. I think I had confluence or reasons for attempting that long. Didn't work out. All good there. Let's see how this market unfolds, though, here, because this has been a really spicy little day. What else, people? ARM about to break low of day. Very weak, relatively, says Neil. Yeah, I mean, low of day on a stock that isn't catalyst driven is pretty interesting for sure. I want to look at this ARM. ARM is up.
Let's go. Let's fucking go.
Shout out to Wayne, who was clearly printing. Wow, ARM. So, oh my gosh, ARM broke its arm here. Look at this baby bear flag. You get the move down? So ARM certainly breaking to the downside here. I would like to see what we do at this 142 level. That is the level we wicked into earlier, and we came right back up. So if we can crush below that level, that is something I would be interested in seeing. Shout out there to Wayne as well, because he seems very happy. And we are loving when people are pleased as punch. I'm definitely going to get stopped out of meta. But Upstart here, Upstart squeeze, someone asked, yeah, Upstart is a 27% short float, much like SoFi, much like a firm running after we got that rate story. So good look here for UPST. Making these higher lows. Again, though, coming into a bit of area resistance. I'd like to see us push above that 40.60, or this might not be as bullish as it first appears. Okay, Meta pulling back below 560. We're going to wait and see what happens here on META. Amazon, how you doing? Still below 189. Cool with that. Like I said, we're going to be moving some stops here in AMZ into prior bar highs. At this point, I think it makes sense to do so. But yeah, we also got the ad. Okay, dope. Let's go, Amazon. We got added and then it wicked right back below. So dope look here on A to the M to the Z to the N. And also, yeah, I guess pretty apt talking about rounded bottoms and trading Amazon here on the day that we do have OB here. So shout out to that. Let's take out half the position at 188.83. Should we get there? Moving our stop to that 189.20 area. How you doing over here? What are you looking at?
Nothing too much there. I did get a little short there on Meta. Stopped out as we pull back above that 560. Re-engage here. Let's see if we can kind of continue a little bit lower. But yeah, I know I'm kind of fighting the trend there. I don't know if it's fully ready just yet. But that swipe up, oh boy, it is holding the 8 moving average right there. So the trend has been holding quite well as we start to slow down. And the bid has dissipated a little bit right there. But we talk about trend deceleration as well that we have to kind of consider and watch out for. Again, the trend can still continue to the upside, but just a little bit slower, maybe some slowing down here. Again, it is the midday session. It's about 11:30. We've been bidding up for about, let's see how long we've been bidding up here on Meta. For over an hour here from the lows. I guess the bid kind of came in around 10 o'clock. It's 11:38 right now. So we've been bidding up for over an hour for sure on Meta there. So let's see if that can potentially come in here to for a backside move, potential reversion. 553 guys, 553 I have as VWAP. So no idea if it can get all the way down to VWAP right there with this strength coming in. But interestingly, the market, the NASDAQ is still holding that 19.9. So let's see if we can get up to, maybe we hit that 20,000 today, Adara. So let's see, we're only about 100 points away, and we've been trending up throughout the morning session and I guess the pre-market session as well. The Globex session definitely bid up quite aggressively on some of these moves here. So yeah, I'm not really looking at too much else. Again, like I said, in my opinion, the market is in play today. So a lot of the large cap tech names, again, heavily weighted names as well, going to be of interest, or heavily weighted names in the indices are going to be of interest to me today for sure. But yeah, let me know what you guys are continuing to trade today. We did look at a few names there. I know that Bitcoin is on the move as well. I see that Vic Jan Novak in the chat talking about the coin long. So let's take a quick look at Coinbase here.
Just looking at that.
You were just looking at coin,
Yeah.
yeah. It's holding this trend here, holding VWAP, holding prior day's highs as well, Adara. So yeah, what do you want to? Do you have anything to talk about on Coinbase?
No, it's just what I was kind of. I don't want to but I was just like.
No, it's all good.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
It's all good. What do you got going on there? You're getting back into DRI.
I'm tempted to go short DRI. So my thing was, I did mention this. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. If we have like these lower highs still, we break below that 170.30s. I don't hate this, but I want to wait for a break below 170.30s because we have a lot of wicks below that area. I want to see something decisive. I want to see something violent. Also, we are in the same meta reversion short, though you have a slightly better price than mine. I just typed meat in the chat, which we might be dead meat, or not in the chat, accidentally said a meta. Maybe we are dead meat, and I have no idea. But I still like this short here. I have my stop. It's a midpoint stop. It's kind of set around that 560.50, so we'll see. I have a feeling I'm going to get stopped out, though. But either way, I like the trade. I want to wait until that stop hits. Amazon. I know Sean is long, I believe. I'm still short Amazon. We'll get stopped out here potentially. Prior bar. I should have moved this prior bar high because it was the other prior bar. Like I said, this is the thing I'm working on. But yeah, if we get above that 189.20s, that's where I'm going to have to say sayonara. And I said, if we reclaim that 189.50s, I have no problem going long. But I'm not going to go long until we get to that level. 189.50s risking to 189.30s. That is my only long trade on Amazon. So in the meantime, we are chilling in this short. Darden, though, definitely like batting its eyelashes at me, being like, hey, Tara, don't worry about meta. I'm here. You can trade me. We did get stopped out of meta there. So that occurred. Let's pull up meta here. Yeah, I mean, meta is really strong. I knew that was kind of maybe a bit of a dicier trade potentially. Oh, and it does not look like I got stopped out at a great pace. That's fine. But yeah, that nice push up here. High of day. We made a new high of day. Previously it was at what, 560.89s. Right now it's 560.98s. Let's see if we can crack above that 561 in meta here. Again, happy I tried the trade, right? You gotta try things you believe in. I did believe in that short at the time being. It was working for a moment there. It didn't end up happening. We avoid getting stopped out of Amazon by a hair here. So let's see if we can keep this moving up. To be clear still, we actually do still have lower highs and lower lows when you think about it. The big issue here, as I said, is that massive support we have at 188.80s. For the meantime, though, Amazon does look like some lower highs. I think if we break that flat bottom, Obi, I would watch out because it looks like it could be a pretty big move to the downside. ZEO, let's talk about some small caps here. Shout out to Pretty Panda. I know a lot of other people were looking at that ZEO as well. ZEO Energy, okay. So bit of a rounded bottom here actually earlier, I would say. Look at this kind of curve. I mean, as much as a small cap can get a rounded bottom. Then we look like we're trying to flat top right here with higher highs, higher lows and a flat top here at 37. Then we make a lower high at 36. Or sorry, 360s. $3.60 is what I meant. Now we push lower, but we still have higher lows in terms of this downtrend. I think if we break below, like if this kind of move to the downside here, rejecting off 320s, if we break below 295s, I would say ZEO looks like some trouble. ZEO could go to ZERO. But as of right now, yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see if we can kind of keep curling here. Got stopped out at Amazon, waiting for that long if we get to 189.50. It did take profit in some of that trade, stopped out almost at break even. So interesting look. Darden, though, also coming into some areas for me, Obi. I wish I had like more eyeballs so I could just trade everything. I don't know if this is like a common experience, but it's hard when there's so many things here in this market to look at, and you want to make sure you're managing risk. You're not trading a million names. But I mean, I guess I have a question too. We have a super chat from JKL146. $2 super chat survey. Rounded or flat bottom? Go. I mean, I guess the market, you want that flat bottom, right? Rounded bottom. Flat bottom might be better support. Rounded bottom is going to give you a bit of a bounce, though. Also, yeah, so my question here is, I guess, what do you do when you've got, because you don't want to trade too many tickers. You've got some tickers on watch, but they're not really coming to fruition. I guess, how do you decide to kind of pivot and look at some other, when it makes sense, I guess, to look at some other names? I don't know if that question was worded.
I guess, I think, yeah, can you ask the question again?
I don't think I worded it super clearly, sorry.
All right.
So it's like, if you've got, and I asked this in like as well to the chat a couple days ago too, but like you don't want to trade too many tickers, right? Let's say you're trying, this is one thing I'm working on, trying to trade less tickers. What happens if the tickers you're looking at aren't really giving you tons of opportunities? Like at what point do you decide, okay, I'm going to pivot, like look to some other stuff?
Yeah. Okay. So this is kind of the yeah. No, it does make a lot of sense. I think the thing is like. I've changed my mindset on this as well over the past year or so. Definitely came to a little bit of an epiphany. Is like you're not necessarily looking for tickers to trade. You're looking for setups to trade. And those setups can set up on any ticker. So it doesn't matter what ticker it is. What makes it in play is that it is the setup that you're looking for. Now that can show up on Meta, that can show up on Apple, that can show up on that can show up in the market, right? The market does beautiful reversions a lot of the time, right? And then, oh boy, did I miss the 561? Okay, yeah, no. So it really depends on the setup. I think that is what matters. So that's what keeps you nimble. I'm not going to be like, okay, I'm going to come in and try to find a trade on Amazon every day, right? Yeah. I've done that before, as you guys know. But that wasn't the reason. I knew I wouldn't make any consistent profit on that consistently over time. But I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna learn how to trade large caps using this method and get comfortable with that. And I just use Amazon as a vehicle. But what I learned was that setups will show up anywhere and everywhere. The point becomes, can you identify your setups? And do you have probabilities on your setups? Yeah. And when they do show up, can you put on the risk and can you manage that risk effectively? It doesn't matter where it is. It can be on a spready ticker. It can be on a liquid ticker, right? Whatever your criteria are. So when I find that when I started perceiving the market with that kind of perspective, things really started to open up in terms of like what you can and cannot get involved with. It's like, all right, I'm not going to continue trying to force the trade on something that's not really setting up, right? Then I'm just fighting something. So it's like either if you can't find anything on a single ticker, then maybe you can do some scans. I know you see me do that every now and then, being like, okay, what are the volume leaders on the day doing as of right now, right? So a lot of different opportunities across the board, and sometimes maybe you're not looking at everything. You're right. Sometimes you feel like you need 10,000 eyes, right? Yeah. But that's what the scans are perfect for. That's so it's true, like the scans will be like, all right, well, if you have predetermined criteria for certain scans, like I want it doing this much relative volume, I want it doing this, that, and the other, and then it'll show you during the day, okay, all of these tickers fulfill your criteria, and then you run through them being like, all right, which ones are really getting set up, which ones am I comfortable trading, and then with that, you can kind of stay balanced in terms of not trying to fight something more than you really need to. So I guess that would be I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. Thank you, Obi. I really appreciate that. Yeah, because I think one of the biggest things too is it's like I'll be trading too many tickers and then you don't have enough or on a day, right? And then you don't have enough time or enough, I guess, eyeballs, mental capacity to look at everything the way it deserves to be looked at. So I really appreciate what you're saying there, like looking at it more. So I think that's what I've been trying to do, and then I get kind of stuck in a trap of like, am I looking at too many tickers? So definitely that's a mental hurdle I need to get over. But yeah, I mean, right now, I know I initially said I like to coin long. I am short coin, and I want to talk about why. So, Coinbase. One of the things we talked about, like you talked about too, that I appreciate is like finding out what your setups are, what your strategies are, right? So Coinbase, a bit of a spreadier ticker. That's why I had it up as a potential crypto play. I was like, if there is a crypto horse to ride, the horse I would like to get, saddle up on would be Coinbase for that reason, because it moves how I want it to, generally how I'm comfortable with. But COIN, I liked as a long initially off 174. I like the 90 EMA bounce. But then what I'm noticing here are these wicks here, all of these topping tail candles. We have this big old thing here that we break into 175.50. We can't break above it. So I got short here at 174s. I'm risking into 174.50s, but like where I set my stop here, it's going to be a midpoint stop around that 174.40 area, which is pretty hard resistance. Also some resistance here on a wick basis. Now, will it work out? I have no idea. I don't know. But you have to try trades you believe in. I do like this trade. I think the book also not as strong as you would necessarily expect it to be. So let's see what happens here on COIN. Now, in terms of profit taking, I'm going to be wanting to see what we do here at 173s, and then of course into VWAP. Another area thing I like here too is Meta. Now I know I tried the Meta short. If Meta wants to continue making higher highs, higher lows, it could be a long for me here. But these topping tail candles have me a little scared. So basically, same level I shorted earlier, I still like. If we break below 550.50, that to me is a short. We also have Amazon though coming into levels I like. And look at this. Amazon bouncing another time here off 188.80s. That thing does not want to break that confluence of eights. So if it doesn't want to break the confluence of eights, you know what I do? I go long. But I am not going long this. Like I said, I have no faith in this long until we get above 189.50. I saw the violent rejection in the book. Look how we're just predicting 20s. To me, there is like my level, I guess, of confidence in this trade is not, it's nil until I get to 189.50s. I don't mind getting involved in the trade late. If I get involved in the trade with, like, I can get involved in more size because I'll have tighter risk. I'll be risking to 189.30s. I'll have a better idea of what it's doing. I'm comfortable waiting if I'm waiting for something that makes sense to me. And that's why you have to trade what you believe in. You know, you can get lots of ideas. We give lots of ideas. Everyone has different kind of takes on the market. But in the end, you're going to have to take those ideas, take that approach, and make it work for your style. So with that in mind, 189.50 Amazon long. No other level will I be going long Amazon. That is what's happening there. I said that, I meant it. Darden, now finally, you're like, Darren, now that you're out of the trade, I'll be moving higher. I'm like, thanks, bro. Yeah, so clearly I should have gotten long when we bounced off that support 170.30s. I was thinking maybe it was a short with the lower highs. It's fine. I don't want to force myself into this trade. I'm happy I tried the long initially. Doesn't look like it's working out. You are short meta. I think that is a nice look. Like I said, I will be hopping in that meta short if we break below 559.50. I don't usually like going short one -7 name and long another, like what I would be doing with Amazon and Meta there. But if something sets up, if they're moving in a way that is distinctly different, then I want to be doing that. I want to hear about your trades though, because both of those looking pretty spicy here.
Yeah, definitely. I agree on that. Distinctly different movement. I think it's very valid to kind of get involved with that. But I guess in terms of Meta and Apple here, both of them are very, very strong. So I guess you would say that they are skoshly different.
Yeah,
maybe
just slightly different.
Perhaps. But here
We're not different at all. One might also say.
Yeah. So 559 halves coming in here on Meta. So we did kind of lick grab that 561, attempting to break this trend as of right now. Finally trading below some of these moving averages. But I'm kind of observing how this thing moves. It is kind of it's very predatory in terms of how it kind of rips up, and it'll get you just on the spread, even if that price may not be printing, because that's where the bid or the ask is sitting. So all right, that's cool, that's fine. I'm willing to give that a little bit of percentage daily risk to kind of try it on there. So 228 right here. Fabian telling me I got to stop slouching. Yeah, I'll sit up. Okay, here comes Meta 558 halves right now. So oh boy, I did miss that 561. I did see what happened there. We only grabbed the top by 40 pennies and we pull back in. I'm like, oh boy, I definitely want to get in on this short for a potential reversion to the downside here. Already a point. Let's see, but I took 2 points worth of a loss on the way up. So let's see if we can kind of take this trade as it comes in potentially right now, or do we make a higher low and kind of just continue there? But there comes a selling. Oh boy. 558s, how much further can we go? 553s is VWAP as of right now. Here you go, guys. That's what I'm looking at here. So no moving averages, no Fibonacci's or anything like that. Nothing too crazy. I like my candles. I like my naked charts. I like the backside. I like VWAP every now and then. And look at that opening range high potentially right there. This is on the 3-minute, also sitting at 553s. Let's see if we can get down there. Oh boy, the market with a little bit of a sell-off as we pull back off of that 19.5. Why don't I have more of these more shares in this era? Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, oh boy, indeed. I got involved. That Meta is dope. I was looking at that, but I missed my 559.50s area. The other level I like at Meta is 557, so I'll be watching it there. In the meantime, though, I said, Dara, why don't you get involved in a stock that you already really liked? And that is Amazon. I said I would only go long Amazon if we had, what was that level I liked? I liked that 189.50s. We never got that, so I never went long. But the second we broke 188.80s, I was like, hey, dope, a short is in order. Did I get short 188.80s? No, I did not. But I'm using that level as my stop. And I've noticed sometimes too, like if you have a level you like previously, you're not able to get filled there, what you could do, and I find this to be pretty helpful for my trading, is just move, like use that level you liked as your stop, either support, resistance, flip, whatever there, right? Also, we have a profitable short here in Coinbase. Just took over, so we got short here 174s. I'm so happy with how I set my stop. I know I usually am very, on my worst behavior when it comes to setting stops. Showed it to our friend Drake, but nothing was the same with this trade. Another bad Drake fun.
Sick, nice short.
Thank
Let's
you.
Go.
Right, because I risked it right here, and I honestly almost got stopped out a couple times, but I said, I feel like okay with this level. Let's see what happens. I actually took more size here. This too. I've talked a lot about using risk units. I know this is something you've talked about as well.
Is that 2 points?
Percentage of your total risk. Pardon?
Almost 2 points?
I got a point, like just over a point. Yeah.
Let's go.
Point 20.
Nice trade.
Thank you. So,
and you're still in it.
I am still in it. I still have a piece.
Beautiful.
for the dream. And in case you're like, where's the dream? Dream's VWAP here, because this thing has generally been bouncing around VWAP. We still, like I said with Coinbase, this short, I was very hesitant to take in the first place because we did have these higher highs, higher lows. It was the topping tail candles and how stagnant we were at 174 that made me change my mind. I think at this point we'll have to move the stop to break even. I'm cool with that, but I want to take the rest out here at 172s. 172 is also a level I liked earlier today because I like that range on Coinbase in the pre-market with that 172 top. So I have no problem taking up the rest here. 172s. Let's go. I don't know if we will, but I will say let's go anyway because you want to stay positive. Honestly, even if your P&L is red, what you have to do is stay green in your mindset because this game, it can eat you up if you're focusing on the mental.
Oh boy.
And you know what I mean? I've always traded here. Like I've been saying, it's interesting. I have a different experience in that I've only really traded in front of people and live. And so you have to, I think that also really helps you keep your spirits up. But one thing, I found really helpful is to just focus on the positivity. Even if you are not positive in your trades, you have to stay positive in your mindset. Believe in your plan. Believe in what you believe in. And if you stick with that, you believe in yourself. No one else can do that for you. Also, Darden, now you're along. Thanks, bro. No, I'm joking. Stocks don't care about my feelings. Doesn't matter if I have the right idea. This is something you said once that really stuck with me. Doesn't matter if you have the right idea. What matters is if you time it correctly, if you play it correctly. Darden, the only other level here I'd be interested in long would be 170, 150 because that was where I was interested in adding in my actual early position when I was long this game. That does have to do with all of this resistance support here at 170, 150. I'll be watching the book at this level. But right now I am pleased as punch with both my trades. Or I got filled. Sorry, got stopped out of Amazon. English, wow. Coinbase potentially bouncing back here. As long as we stay below 174s, I'm going to be happy with that trade. But I mean, I want to shout out your Meta trade. That is great. That is a great look here on Meta. Good look to Obi there. I also, like I said with Meta, my other level of this, it's approaching. It's 557s. That was the level I had my. I was gonna have my stink bid in, and then I canceled it when I was gonna get my coffee because I was like, oh, Dara, you're not gonna get filled. No, I would have. It would have gone up 4 points, but that's not the point. Pun accidentally intended. I want to see what we do at 557s. If we bounce off 557s, I might take a really quick scalp long here to 559s. But I think it's more likely we'll find out what happens here. Right now, chilling in Coinbase, still watching Amazon. And I mean, yeah, Darden, you're doing, I call this a bid creep or an ask creep. So a bid creep is when you've got the bid pushing up by like a cent on a really spready stock. So we were at 171.19s. Guess where we are now? 171.20s. The ask is holding. So that means we've got the hand cranking back up on the bid to smack the ask. That's what I'm looking for here on DRI. We'll find out. The ask creep is the opposite when you're looking for a short. You've got the bid pretty solid, and the ask slowly curves to the downside to drop it low. So let's see what happens here on Darden. Let's see what happens here on Coin. Coin. Okay. Coin's still working. We're going to move the stop to prior bar highs. As I said, I am still working on the part of my trading plan that involves moving stops, but I'm not going to add to this vision right now. We're just going to wait this, breathe, let it chill, find out what happens here on COI, and hopefully we can make some coin here in Coinbase. But Darden, the long is coming in. I'm going to get long here. How are you doing?
Not too bad. Just watching, looking for the next trade here. Apple's still kind of holding some of these highs. This consolidation is holding. It's technically consolidating above VWAP. We're making higher lows above VWAP as well. Some of these tops have been tested, but I do like that 229 level as well. Let's see. I have no idea. We're pulling back off of 19.9s, which is a good confluence that I do like for the trade here. Meta as well. Meta holding that 557. So yeah, I like that 556. You can see that 556 kind of had this kind of consolidation here, a bit of a base that we caught a bit off of. That 556, we're only about 50, I guess a point and a half away from that 556 as of right now as we trade in and around 557s, 558s now on the ask. So yeah, a little bit of a pullback up, but yeah, let's see if we make lower highs here and continue to the downside, or the super strong stock. Again, these are all-time highs here on Meta today. Let's see if we get a little bit of profit taking as the bid dissipates going into the midday session as of right now. So just patiently waiting, looking for the next trade. I don't really see too much that I potentially want to be involved in, but oh boy, look at ARM. ARM coming back in, and Sean is saying Google. Yeah, you know what? I do like that. Google, a bit of a double top-ish action there. Kind of attempted to revert all the way back to its highs. Can't really make it there, and pulling back in as well. Just holding above VWAP as of right now, but VWAP not really too significant as of right now because it's just kind of like orbiting around that VWAP. So let's see if VWAP can reclaim 62.69, 68 is 62.68 is VWAP here on my screen. So we got to continue watching that one, see if that one comes into fruition there as Apple potentially coming to the downside here. Oh boy, Amazon was the one we should be shorting, Sean, because that thing is attempting to push low a day as of right now. Nvidia taking a little bit of a pullback there. I like that. So that'll definitely bring us in on these bigger, I guess, ETFs, as well as, again, Nvidia heavily weighted in some of those. 557 halves back here on the Meta. Let's see if this one can pull into VWAP here. I'm looking for 554s, but that 556 could be a bust stop along the way, Adara. I do like that as well. What are you looking at?
I'm not trying to copy your style here, but I actually really like Apple here. I'm going to shout you out in that trade. Now, where would I be short Apple? Very late, it would be 228.20s. Why? I'm laughing just because it's a really random level. Why do I like that short in Apple? Because if we break that support, then I think we have at least until VWAP. I don't know, though, because right now it looks like we're trying to make higher highs. We're doing that thing that I find sometimes bullish where you've got a bottom and then you make a double bottom, but only on a wick basis. I don't know. I've just found that pattern to be kind of bullish as of late, but we'll see what happens there. DRI, we got that nice push above here. So I'm using that level that I liked on the bid, 171.19s as my stop. I got long 171.49s. I'm risking 30 cents. Like I said here, I'm really looking at those 174s. So I don't mind being in this position, the slightly larger position than I had the first time around too, because I like this level. We are continuing to do a bid creep. Okay, keep creeping up in that bid. I want to see TLC style creep. We don't want no scrubs over here. And we're not chasing waterfalls. Did not chase this move. Said I'll wait to see if I get that push up. We got that push up. I got long. I'll stop snapping now, but we got another bid creep. So if that bid keeps creeping up, my smile will keep creeping up on my face.
Nice.
Really, really weird Joker style stuff I'm doing over here. Okay. Good Coinbase. Nice Coinbase.
Wow.
I'm really happy with this trade. Like I said, saving for 172s. Why am I saving for 172s? Not just because it's the whole dollar level. It's a level I liked earlier when we had some of that chip top. We have the higher lows, so I want to be cognizant of the fact we were not necessarily as likely to break below that 170, 150. At this moment, my stop is break even. I might have to move that to prior bars, which would be 173.15. So I'm going to have to make that decision here. I still like Darden. I'm just watching my Darden cook. I guess accidental pun because it does restaurants. But yeah, shout out to Olive Garden there. Too bad we don't have Olive Garden there in Ontario. That actually makes me really sad. Like I said, I grew up in a very Olive Garden heavy province of Manitoba. Thank you, Vicky Novak, for the kind words on coin. And like I said too, like I initially was thinking long coin. So I think one of the biggest things I'm still learning, I'm going to move my stop here to that prior bar high of 173.15s. One of the biggest things I'm kind of learning in these markets is I think what matters more necessarily in the direction is I think what matters sometimes more than like the direction of your idea is, do you have levels that make sense that you're watching out for? So in my case, with Coinbase, I like that 174, right? So I didn't hop in I waited to see what we did here. I thought I missed the long, but then when it kind of formed as a short, I'd already watched the book as well, what we were doing into that 174.40s, right? So I knew what levels to strike. So I'm trying to realize, someone said this in the chat a while ago too, and I really agreed. It's always, the direction, of course, is important once you're in the trade, but as you're leading up to the trade, what you kind of want to see is the interaction. You want to see levels you like. You want to be able to flip. Yeah, no, I mean, you know what? Like Vicky Novak, flipping is not, I struggle with it too, right? It's really easy to just say in your head, like, please don't flip. But sometimes you want to be able, shout out to Russ, but sometimes you have to be able to kind of take those moments and flip it. It's something I'm still working on for sure. I am still relatively new to trading, trying to get better every single day, right? So I think that's a huge thing. Coinbase definitely being spicy around that prior bar high, which is 173.15. My stop is midpoint 173.15. So let's see what gets crack-a-lack in there. Okay, Darden, keep having that bid creep. I see you. I like you. I wish I could eat at one of your restaurants tonight. Shout out to Olive Garden. I'm like really tempted to just be like, can someone fly me to Winnipeg? No, I'm joking. But trading this Darden is making me hungry for some profit and for some opportunities. Because like I said, it's not about P&L, it's about progress and learning. Yesterday, I had one of like the better sessions I've had in a while, just from like a mental standpoint. Still down to the day, but you know what? Down but not out. You keep going, as Cardi B says. You get down 9 times, but you get up. You knock me down 9 times, but I get up 10. Also, thank you, Live Trading by Trader TV Live. Shout out to Fabian or Ramin saying there's Olive Garden in Niagara. Maybe I take a drive tonight. No, I will not be taking a drive tonight. But go Darden, pushing up higher here. Go Coinbase, which is actually still behaving pretty nicely. And Apple, I'm looking at here potentially as a long off that 288.80s. I apologize, I know you're still short this. How are you doing over here?
Not too bad.
Meta is looking interesting too.
Yeah, so I like the Meta. Meta is kind of just consolidating, potentially making lower highs there. That's what I'm looking for. Can we make a lower high? I do want to get more in. I didn't get the price that I wanted, 561s or close to 561s, but that's perfectly fine. I got below 560, so about a point away there on that one. Now just looking to potentially add more if Meta will have me there at a lower high. Let's see if we can make a lower high underneath that 560 to get more involved into this ticker for potential reversion to VWAP. Now again, the market is strong there. We got back up to 19.9s on the NASDAQ, and the ES also kind of attempting to push its consolidation highs right now as well. So we've got to keep eyes on that one there to see if that can potentially come into fruition. But yeah, I'm just patiently waiting. Again, like I said, nothing too crazy. I'm not really seeing too much else here. Tesla still hasn't necessarily broken down, right? Tesla's probably like one of the only ones that hasn't really taken a significant pullback. Even Meta, that was very strong, has taken a bit of a pullback there. Nothing too significant, but about a 2-3 point pullback off of its highs there. And Tesla, no real sign of a pullback just yet. So the long is definitely strong on that one as that EV kind of, I guess, runs up. Runs up all day there. I'm looking at 15 minutes here. 15-minute lows, I guess power bar lows have barely been tested, with only about this current one attempting to break that prior low there. So we'll keep that one on watch. Let's see if Tesla will come in potentially there. But without any further ado, we have Neil with his lesson of the day. So let's see what Neil has to say.
Welcome to the lesson of the day and viewer's choice today. So we've gotten questions about this before, but do not mind going over it again, because there's always a lot of terminology that we will use on the live show or the traders use in a general sense. And sometimes one trader might have a slightly different interpretation of the topic, but when it's an important one, like a liquidity grab, which you'll hear us all say, I think it matters. So first off, a liquidity grab, we should try to define those terms so people understand what they mean. Grab, I think you understand that somebody is trying to take something away. And so when traders talk about a liquidity grab, they're usually looking at a move, which is a reversal that either maybe you didn't see coming, or with a sharp one, where someone was able to grab a great price that in hindsight is going to look almost fantastic for a reversal. Now, liquidity is the key point here. Now, obviously, in the market, your bids, your asks, your volume at certain price levels is going to change based on time of day, based on how much the stock normally does trade. So it's all relative when you talk about liquidity. So you always want to compare apples to apples for a liquidity grab. It doesn't matter if I'm going to talk about one here at the open on Tesla. It's completely irrelevant how much liquidity Tesla did underneath the pre-market lows relative to Apple. You know, it matters how much it did relative to Tesla, right? So everything is relative to its own stock for that time of the day and at that particular price range. So as opposed to just running stops, a liquidity grab is a bit different. Now, if I was going to say something ran stops and then reversed, I might look at this 3 minutes and give you an idea that, okay, running stops at the pre-market high and then a quick reversal. That happened in one candle. A liquidity grab has to have time for a lot of volume to transact past the key price and then reverse. In this particular case, Tesla breaks a pre-market low right at the open. looks like it's holding to the downside, does a huge volume candle, follows it up with good volume on the other side, and then another big volume candle as it's making that bottom. This is the idea of a liquidity grab. It breaks the pre-market low, not to just snap back up and run everybody's stops in a couple of seconds, but to hold underneath that price for long enough that, and presumably, and you're always presuming the other side of the trade here, you don't know this for certain, presumably someone to have actually built a position underneath that pre-market low. Now, whether or not, from a technical standpoint, you could say, hey, look at the lower high from the afternoon, maybe they're holding that level. That doesn't really matter, but it's the volume that goes on underneath that price. When you're wicked out like this, a lot of times the ability to sort of react, you have to be quick to get back in the trade. It's just a running of stops and then it completely reverses. You'll see that with even dollar level breaks. But oftentimes at the open or at other key prices, you can see a big liquidity grab, lots of volume underneath that price, trapping people and giving them all the opportunity in the world to look for a short underneath a key price level only to reverse it out. Now, from a trading standpoint, oftentimes as this is happening, it's not easy to simply say, hey, underneath there's a long, look at it hold. No, it failed a pre-market high break and then looks like it's consolidating on a lower high on volume. The whole point that makes it a liquidity grab is that it's tricky for people not to be thinking short. Now, where you can look for this in the reversal trade doesn't have to be getting the bottom. And I think a lot of times when you try to get that bottom, you're going to get trapped in what ends up being a real down move. So what you look for in this particular case is a simple re-break of the high. It traps people in the low. It already did the wick top, the re-break of the high of the day. Now, obviously, you've heard a lot of people say Tesla was a miss. This wasn't just a liquidity grab underneath the pre-market bottom. It then broke out yesterday's high to boot. So it really trapped people, and then that's going to be a stop for almost everybody. Right? Like, that's sort of the obvious one. And it works in both ways here. You know, liquidity grabs certainly could happen in the other direction. I'll give you an example with ARM. ARM was a liquidity grab in the other direction to the upside. Now, whether or not you're zooming out, and if you zoom out on ARM, you can sort of see there's a very, very big level at $150 on the daily that it sold off of from before, where the next day it was a 147.5. So if you're zooming out, you're going to eyeball that as a big resistance level on ARM. Well, what does it do? It breaks out the high and then looks to all the world like it's in a trend upside on big, big volume. You're going to have more volume at this open than you were doing on the Fed announcement. So clearly it's a significant amount of volume happening above this 145, goes right into that resistance on the daily. And then there is your move to the downside. And again, it's not about, hey, look at that, we're going to short the top because it's going to be a liquidity grab. You don't know that until it's already happened. But once it has happened on that kind of volume into resistance, just like in Tesla, it turns into a continuation trade. Where back underneath that breakout turns into a trend to the downside. So there's your big liquidity grab on ARM in the other direction. It's not just a wick high, it's a lot of volume above that top and then a rejection underneath. Trapping enough time to trap a lot of people long so that you get a complete reversal. So that's the difference. A lot of times traders will talk about simply, oh, I got wicked out, they ran stops. A liquidity grab is much more than that. It's a longer period of time where people have built into a position of confidence in a breakout or through a key price level only to then drop it. They tend to work the same way on reversals, but the liquidity grab I find is much better for a trend trade because you have a huge volume of traders trapped in the other direction. The wick out just stops some people out, the weak hands, and then you just get a reversal. They run stops, you just get the weak hands out. There's not enough time to really trap anybody in the other direction. But in the case of that liquidity grab, you have trapped people in the other direction, and so the trend is much stronger on the reversal. Tesla, great example to the long side today. ARM, a great example of the short side. So your lesson of the day, the difference between a liquidity grab and simply running stops. Happens all the time, and I find that the liquidity grab is a much more interesting thing to trade off of, and you have a lot more time to assess the move. So therefore, when it sets that up, it's a more simple trade. You don't have to think in the terms of seconds. You get minutes, sometimes even longer than that, to assess that trade. So hope that answers your question. We got that this morning. Always more than happy to discuss questions that you guys want for the lesson of the day. Good luck, everybody.
All right, thank you, Neil, for answering those questions from the chat. I kind of still involved in some of the on the same names here, Apple and Meta. Bit of a consolidation we're having right now as a market kind of attempts to chop around this 19.9 right here, but pretty much sideways we've been for the past, I guess, especially if you look at the ES, you can see a little bit more of a chop sideways there as we consolidate between, 57.25 and 5700 here, and just kind of, I guess, patiently waiting for the next trade to set up. And I know that Tesla was also on watch, so let's keep a closer eye on that one. There are 242s coming in as of right now. So let's see if Tesla can potentially bring it in here. VWAP sitting at 238 right here. So let me pull up the chart so we can look at it together here. So we did get a little bit of, we're attempting to get a little bit of a trend break here. So I'm going to be a little bit more patient with this one. I do think that Tesla is a little bit more competitive when it comes to price action and I guess some of the games that are played on that ticker. But what do I know? I'm just going to be patient, wait for my setups to kind of set up for me, and then try to get involved in those as well. Let's see if they can come into fruition here. How are you doing, Adara?
I'm good. I'm watching Meta, because if that thing breaks below 557.50, I'm getting involved.
Boy.
So, okay, we're getting involved. We're going to risk into 558.50s. I'm taking less size. I'm willing to risk a little bit more because I really like this trade. Now, I don't have enough buying power for it. That's fine. Well, maybe for the best, because it bounced basically. It would have bounced the second I got filled. So it's all good. But yeah, so coin here, holding at 172. I was initially looking to short at 172 breakdown, but it does not, the way it's breaking down here wasn't quite what I was looking for. I got stopped out there just above 173s, I think 173.15s. That was that area I mentioned. So please just punch with that. Other stocks I'm looking at here, because I wouldn't realize too, that's the thing too, you could have stuff on watch, but if it's not setting up, don't play it. Coinbase, I mean, I like the idea of the 172 breakdown. It wasn't setting up how I wanted to, so I'm cool with waiting. Meta bouncing, though, at 557.50. That is a little interesting to me. But is that more of a reason not to go short, or is it a reason to go long? I still don't know if I would want to go long Meta, and that is because we do still have, as Obi was saying earlier, lower highs on Meta, right? And there is some interesting stuff in the water here around that 559. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to chill. I am long Apple, which is something I want to talk about because I know I was initially like, I want to short Apple 228.30s. The reason I didn't was because we had that base here, and then we had a bit of a wick into that base before coming higher. Now we have higher lows. I'm risking into that prior low, taking less size, risking into the prior low there of 228.40s. This will be like the battle of the Macs over PC or Mac, as we know. We're both trading Apple in different directions. No, I'm joking. All smiles over here on this desk. But yeah, basically, why I like this trade because it's setting up with these higher highs, higher lows. There's a clear support resistance flip for me to play off of. And also here too, look, we're actually resistance. Then we flip to support. So I think if this breaks out, this could be pretty strong. The only area I would potentially consider adding here is if we get a nice breakup of 228. I'll be watching that level. The other trade I like is still Amazon 189.50. Now, Obi heard me talking to this. I was like going to the washroom. I was like, Amazon, if you break 189.50 before I get back, I'm going to be pretty grumpy. And Amazon listened, or it probably didn't. It just behaved nicely. We're going to see what it does here at 189.50. Darden! Sorry for the clap there, guys. I got a little excited because this stock has been a little bit more sleep-inducing. Darden getting that pop here. Let's see what happens at Darden. Like I said, nice. Profit taking, it's interesting for me, 174. I'm not adding to this. I'm going to let this thing ride. At this point, I should be moving my stop to prior bar lows, I would say. But it's hard when a lot of these lows are pretty anemic. Let's see how this shapes up right now. We're getting some things I like on the book. We're getting some things I like on the chart, Obi. I am, dare I say it, please just punch with the trading opportunities today. Coming off a bit of a rough streak, but, you just got to keep going, got to keep pushing. How you doing over here?
Not too bad. Yeah, no, you know what? I don't really. mind your idea there for the Apple long. I do see exactly what you're seeing, and I know I'm fighting the trend a little bit there. So yeah, 229's coming in here. We are making or attempting to make some fresh highs here into this consolidation, and there it is. There's my stop out Adara. So congratulations on the long. Definitely read it the right way there. But I am trying to get in on the right side of said V. But it would seem that I guess the initial trade was probably the best one, as we are consolidating above VWAP right now and attempting to make higher highs, higher lows as well. So shout out to Dara for kind of capturing that move as of right now. I'm still got Tesla on watch. Apple, I'm not done with you just yet. I'm looking for that lower high potentially to come in, if it'll come in at all. So again, we broke above that 19.9s here on the Nasdaq, and there's the ES pushing or attempting to push some fresh highs as well. So I am keeping that closely on watch as we get a little bit of strength in this market here. Let's see, Spider almost up at its highs there. High a day on the Spider is 571.89. We're trading 571.60s as of right now. So got to keep a close eye on that one to see if that one will come into fruition. If we can break through some of those or the high of day on the Spider there, I do like the long idea on some of these large caps. But again, if we can't do that, and I guess especially if the Nasdaq can't really get through this 19.9, I do want to kind of continue on with this backside idea here, as we potentially are making lower highs. But let's see, we are making lower highs relative to this. But bigger picture, we've only been making higher highs and higher lows here on Apple, as well as the futures in the market here. So gonna pack my patience, as Sharif likes to say, and wait for the next trade. Apple, though, I might still continue to take a couple shots at this one.
Yeah, Apple, honestly, I don't blame you for trying to take those shots at Apple there. Amazon still could not break 189.50. I honestly, like, this is giving me, the more this fails to break 189.50, A, the happier it makes me that I wanted to wait for that level, but B, the more it makes me think if we do break above that 189.50, OB, it's going to be spicy. It gives me more balance to the evidence. Oh, wrong button. That we can have a nice little long here. So yeah, shout out to that. Also, yeah, shout out to the Law and Order button. Thank you, Fabian, for getting that for me. Turns out apparently he had that button ready for a while because he knew I would want it. So shout out to our awesome production team. Someone earlier was saying the production team is dope, and yeah, I mean, shout out Andre, new member as well. But I'm gonna keep staring here at this Amazon. While I stare at Amazon, I'm gonna put it's on my book so I can get long there 189.50s. I'm gonna look at a firm here because a firm was when we okay. SOS wanting to look at a firm long. You're saying, honestly, I don't know. I'm going to be really honest with you. What I see from a firm is a big old V-shaped retracement to the downside. If we bounce off VWAP, maybe, but Sharif says this a lot, and I agree. VWAP is only a level if it shows interaction. We haven't really interacted with VWAP much. The level we have interacted with, oddly enough, on a firm is the 9. Oh, also, sorry, to get long Amazon. So, excuse my interruption here. We're going to get long Amazon. Okay, so we're long Amazon. Oh, didn't have enough buying power for that. Cool. Great times. So we'll see if we can get in with less size, maybe, that long Amazon, because I still do want that long. But as we wait for that to happen, there we go. A firm, we're breaking below VWAP, right? The one area I would maybe look for some support would be 45.86 fives, and that's because that was that previous area of chop. But I mean, if you think about it here, right? We had a big move up here. We stagnate hard at a whole dollar level here, that 48, and then we could do. The level we were interacting with, we were bouncing off the 90 MAs on the way up, rejecting off 90 MA on the way down. To me, that is I'm going to be honest with you, that's really the only level I see on a firm. Sometimes whole dollar levels are interesting, but that thing just broke below 46. So I got to say, unfortunately, I don't really see much of a long here on AFRM. I'm sorry I wasn't able to affirm your read on the stock, but I do want to be honest about my look on that. I don't think it's a particularly bullish day for a firm. We do have Apple. Like I said, I was interested in adding 229, didn't get filled. That's fine. I'm taking out the vast majority here of this position, 5/6 of the position at 229.50. I'm holding a tiny, tiny piece for a dream. At that point, you might ask why. And I would say, I mean, I don't know, why not? I'm going to move my stop here to break even. I should have done that already. We did not get filled on Amazon, unfortunately. But you know what? If we break above VWAP, I'm cool. Like I said, what you could do sometimes too with within reason, right? You don't want to be chasey. Is areas that you initially liked as like a stop or, you know, a level of entry, you can change those to be your stops, right? When I had that Lululemon trade a couple weeks ago, which like I said was kind of a big moment for me in terms of my process and finding what works for me. That's what I did there. Amazon, I'm a little upset I missed this fill. It is, especially because I was watching it so hard. It is what it is, but you know what? You can't get upset. The markets don't care about your feelings. All they care about is you taking advantage of those opportunities. DRI, I'm going to have to get some stops set up here too, because that thing doing a little bit of a bid creep to the downside, which is not great when you're in a long. So going to be babysitting that. Happy with the Apple, happy with the Darden. Don't want to revenge trade Amazon, so we're going to wait and see how this sets up. But I am happy I waited for my 189.50, so I think that is pretty key there for sure. How are you doing over here?
Not too bad. Stopped out on Apple a couple times. Again, it attempts to bid a little bit higher above that 229 area. So kind of just patiently waiting, watching. This is a prior level that I do like here, this 229 area, so that's why I'm like I'm getting involved and maybe potentially a little aggressive with this area. So let's see. I'm willing to spend a little bit of risk here until or if it can begin to work right there. But that 229 area, some prior range highs I'm seeing there. Okay, oh boy, we're getting some selling coming in here. So thankfully. Oh boy, what's happening? So we coming back into 18.9. A little bit of volatility here. Meta flushing to the downside, 557s now. So we clipped that prior low right there. Let's see if we can continue a little bit lower here. Again, that 556 area definitely interesting. We're only about 30 pennies away from entering that 556 area as of right now. So let's see if that can potentially come into fruition with the market taking a little bit of a pullback. But it's interesting that I guess NASDAQ kind of pushing right back above that 19.9. So I don't know, maybe just some chip chop here, Dara, where that volatility kind of gets picked right back up. That aggressive selling bids right back up through those 229s here. So I do have to keep an eye on that. On that. Meta still working as of right now. We are potentially on the backside of the move here on Meta. Let's see if we can get down into VWAP. Again, I'm looking for those 556s, man. If those 556s can come in, I think that could be an interesting place to kind of watch the ticker and see what it does in and around there. That is a place where, look at that, nice little. It was like it consolidated. We had a strong trend. We consolidate on top of 556s, and then we get another leg to the upside there, all the way to 561s on Meta. So let's see if we can come into those 556s and see if the bid is still kind of sitting there, or is the bid going to kind of drop as the momentum from the morning has definitely dissipated a little bit here on the day. But look at these futures, man. These futures are continuing to push to the upside here. So what I'm asking is, who is the strongest one of the bunch right now? Amazon with a little bit of a pop there, and Nvidia still a little sideways there. Softy is super sideways, looking like some price compression happening there on Microsoft. But yeah, Spider to the upside there. Alphabet as well, still making lower highs there on Alphabet, but still within its kind of consolidation range. So nothing too crazy going on there as of right now. So yeah, that bid comes right back in here on Apple. So maybe we are poised for some more upside here, Adara.
Yeah, I'm in 3 longs. I cannot believe what my life is. Happy with all.
Wow,
I know it's. Who am I? I got long here, like I said, Darden. Chilling in that long, moved my stops just below 172s. That was that area with that hard breakout from them. We kind of tested. So if we break below that, I want no smoke. If we stay here, I am pretty happy with that level. Amazon, Apple, my stop's at break even right now just because how we pushed up. Amazon, I got filled. I had my order there waiting all pretty. I was like, woo, Amazon, right? So I don't know what that sound was, but it looks like we wicked into the area I was going to take profit, that 189.86, and then we came back down. Why did I like that level? Look at all of this interaction in the pre-market. Look at these bounces off you up. 180, honestly, if we break above 189.80s, it's a good look for Amazon. That's where I'll be taking out half the position. I'll be saving another piece for a dream. The dream is a bit ambitious. It's going to be much like Apple, kind of near that pointy top where we started, from whence we started reversing. So that'll be the look on Amazon. That is my look on Apple as well. But apparently a firm respected the level says SOS. Yeah, it actually, it respected 85. Okay, dope. A firm did respect, as of right now, 45.85. So, like, that's always the hard part. I do feel, you want to make sure you're responsible when you're on the show saying levels, because not everything is going to hit, right? This affirm, though, getting that bounce. So I'm happy that that worked out there. Let's see though. It looks like right now we have a bit of a topping tail rejecting VWAP, which again, not a level of firm was necessarily respecting earlier, but let's figure out. Jeremy Newman asking about Lunar's rounded bottom on the 5-minute LUNR. That was a stock, I believe, yesterday or the day before. This one was getting pretty spicy. This one was popping. We know Lunar has the potential to go to the moon, pun intended. Okay, I'm not seeing a rounded bottom in the 5-minute. Maybe you mean a longer time frame, so I'll zoom out. But, okay, you know what I see more for Lunar? It's less of a rounded bottom, more of a double bottom at 740. That's my take on this, right? 740, to be clear, there's a lot of symmetry in this pattern. So we have a bottom at 740, then we kind of have a bit of rejection at 765, then we're kind of trying to curl up here with that support resistance flip yesterday. Now to support here at 785. 785 is actually a level I had written down on Lunar. Not a stock I normally trade, but I do, you know, if stock respects levels, as we were saying earlier, you've got to respect that. And then now we have a little bit of something happening, kind of eighths, not a huge level, but look at this Lunar move now. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't say rounded bottom, but I would say there is some symmetry happening here. If we break above 840s, which is a clear level of rejection a couple times here today, if we break above 840s, I would say Lunar's very bullish. But that is, again, not just my read on the chart. I'm not a chartist there, but again, I'm going to be honest, I would not necessarily call this a rounded bottom, but that doesn't mean it's not a bullish pattern, right? Things can manifest in different ways. With that in mind, we're ready to start our lesson one more time, which is rounded bottoms. Also, some housekeeping here. Let's, you know, get the duster out, get the mop, get our Clorox out, long CL. So some housekeeping. We actually don't have our voting happening today because we don't have Sharif here, so no voting, guys. Tomorrow you'll go back to being able to vote for your tickers in our audience segment. Also, the other piece of housekeeping I would like to do, there's another piece. Oh yeah, we have an auction. It's the 10-year tips auction at 1 p.m. So just so you guys know that is a thing. Be aware at 1 p.m. that auction might be happening. I'm just going to pull up the website so I can see this. But right now, let's talk about the saucer pattern. But I mean, guys, we know it by its real name, the rounded bottom. So here's a quick intro here to rounded bottoms. Basically, it's going to be a pattern, is a reversal pattern there that signals a transition from a downtrend to an uptrend. Its cousin is the rounded top, which signals a transition from a downtrend to an uptrend to a downtrend. There we go. So rounded bottom down to up, because the bottom is rounding up, rounded top, up to down, because you've got the top rounding to the downside. So this pattern is pretty rare. It's worth noting, but it's pretty powerful, and you usually observe it over a longer time frame, right? So what it'll indicate too, as kind of signified by the longer time frame, it's going to be a more gradual change in the market sentiment. So it forms over a longer period of time, as we suggested, and it also signals bullish reversal after a prolonged downtrend. So here's one example. Thank you to Sharif for adding these pictures here from being sick. Hopefully he's doing well. Look at this. We get the rounded bottom. Look at the little shout out to the bull writing in there. Shout out to Sean there writing on that bull. Rounded bottom here. You also got that bull move up here to the upside. Great look. Now, what about structure and formation? So the rounded bottom, it's going to look a bit like a U shape here, okay? It reflects a gradual decline in price stabilization phase before a gradual push back to the upside. Unlike a sharper reversal, this pattern is going to unfold over more slowly. Key structures include the downtrend phase, where you've got the market initially declining with diminished momentum. Then you're going to be looking for your consolidation, which is when the price is flattened out at the bottom, which marks the midpoint of this pattern. Last but not least, your uptrend phase. That's where you're going to see a slow, steady rise in prices, indicating a shift towards a bullish sentiment. So here's an example. You got your rounded bottom here. Look at the volume here moving too. You got big influx of volume on the down. Volume kind of stabilizes. As it picks up, look what we have. It's a pickup in volume. And then we pop. Great look there. Now, what about behavior in volume? Because that's worth noting too, as we just saw in that chart. A couple things worth noting here. You got a decline in volume here. So you're going to see the volume push lower during the downtrend and the flat base, which indicates a decrease in selling pressure. Then what you're going to want to see, though, is a increase in volume. And you want to see the increase in volume when you have an increase in your price, because that will signal the accumulation and renewed buying interest. Especially what you're looking for here is a volume spike near the breakout, because that confirms, hey, these prices are ready. They're like banging at the door. They're like, let me in, and they push higher. Some dinner theater for y'all, or lunch theater, I guess, because it's the lunch hour. So here we go. Here's a rounded bottom on volume. You got your move down. Look, the volume rounds out too, right? Volume actually implies two rounded bottoms. You kind of see that, a bit of a double bottom here. So double bottom and a rounded bottom, even more bullish confluence. Then we push up higher here. Then that's the area where they're saying to buy, right? So then you can risk appropriately, which we'll talk about in a minute. But first, we're going to talk about the psychology of this pattern. So first you want to see your early downtrend. That's going to basically reflect some pessimism as viewed through selling. Then you see your consolidation, right? The consolidation is when you've got a flattening here in price and the bearish sentiment waning. At that point, buyers are going to start to show some interest. What about your uptrend? That's what happens here when you've got that confidence slowly, gradually building here with the buyers. They're going to be pushing those prices higher, and that signals some optimism in then their markets. This basically, what you're going to see here is a slow shift reflecting an accumulation fade where smart money is gradually entering the market. Smart money, quote unquote, right? Because by that we mean investors on an institutional basis. So here we go. We got your psychology of the rounded bottom. First, you got your gradual decline. Then you've got a rounded bottom shape. You're looking at that volume. You're seeing, hey, when are we going to curl? Let's wait out here. Let's figure out what happens. Then we break out on resistance. Let's talk here about the confirmation here of the breakout. So talk here about, because this is the most important part of the pattern, right? That's what happens when you've got the price rising above the resistance formed at the beginning of the downtrend. Also, we got covered there at Apple. Shout out to Obi in that short. We got no covered. Sorry, is that what I meant? Stopped out. So basically, yeah. So you've got resistance level here. That's what you have formed near the start of the pattern. Then you want to see your breakout in volume. That's what happens when you've got that surge in volume and intense increase in volume when the price is breaking through resistance. That confirms here the validity of your reversal. Also, though, it's worth noting a proper breakout, you do want to see that accompanied by high volume, right? That signals that you've got new buyers entering the market saying, hey, howdy, let us in. We want to join the party. So here you go. You've got a potential breakout here, rounded bottom pattern, move to the downside. We start seeing these higher lows. Then we have that push back up. Once you break above this neckline, it could be go time. So interesting look there. Now let's talk about some trading strategies here, right? So once you've got the pattern identified, how the heck do you trade it? Entry, one entry kind of to note here could be entering, for example, when you've got the price breaking above resistance, accompanied by strong volume. Where would you set your stop in this case? Potentially just below the lowest point of the pattern to manage your risk. Now, your target here is also going to be key because the target price is often going to be calculated by measuring your vertical distance from the lowest point of the pattern to the resistance. At that point, you're going to be projecting that pattern upward from your breakout point. Now, what this method does is it kind of offers a reliable, reliable things. These are tools, not rules, right? So things don't always change, but it gives you a fairly reliable risk to reward ratio, and especially if you're looking at a longer time frame where the pattern is often going to develop. So here you go. You've got your entry and exit. You have this neckline here, pushing below, volume slumps or sluppums. If you're looking at this Google images, it's sluppums, volume sluppums. Then you get a higher low. Then you get a bit of a breakout, right? So set your stop loss here. Now I'm slupping because I'm saying these words wrong. But set your stop loss here potentially. Then you push up higher here. You get your retest, bull flag, and the bull flag pops. Great look here. So how reliable is this pattern? What time frame should you be looking at it on? It's considered a highly reliable time frame here, but it is more commonly observed in longer time frames, your daily, your weekly, or your monthly charts. What it does is it indicates a solid, sustained reversal, so that makes it more ideal for position traders and for investors. In terms of time frames, you do want to be patient because it takes time for this pattern to develop, but the slow formation can lead to a more stable long-term price movement because you've watched it for quite some time. So to conclude and to recap, the rounded bottom pattern is gradual, but it's powerful. It signifies market reversal. And so what you want to do first is identify the U shape. Then you want to wait for a breakout above resistance before you get involved in that trade. Then you want to use proper risk management with stop losses and your price targets. That is a rounded bottom, and that is our lesson of the day. How you doing over here, Obi?
Nice. Thanks, Adara, for the lesson of the day there. Again, solid examples there, and yeah, definitely a good pattern to watch out for. Definitely rare. Kind of pointed out earlier that if you want to see it on something recent, I think Carvana is definitely a chart to be watching if you want to see that rounded bottom kind of coming in. Well, it kind of already did it. We're in a bit of an uptrend on the bigger picture on Carvana, but yeah, that ticker is a good textbook example. Here, I'll just pull it up here. CVNA. We'll pull that up again on the weekly, I think, as well. And again, oh boy, this thing has definitely rounded bottom. And I like that you kind of pointed out how the volume looks on those as well. You can see, look at that spike in volume, and as that volume expands, we start getting that up move as well. So some solid action there on Carvana. A rounded bottom on the larger time frame. This is a weekly chart here in the wild. So a great example there. Now I'm sure, yeah, let me know in the chat if you guys have any other examples that of like rounded bottoms on the higher time frames that you guys want us to take a look at there. And I'd love to see some of those. I know there's a lot of tickers that may be doing that as well. Again, we're back at all-time highs here. Spider is pushing all-time highs today. So is Meta. Let's see if some of these other tickers can kind of get back up to their all-time highs there. Nvidia still trading below 120s there. 119.66 is the high of day today on Nvidia here. We're getting a bit of a wicking action here on the ES of this prior high. I like that. Let's see if we can pull back a little bit here. We've been consolidating for over a couple hours here. I see that Apple consolidation. Let's see how long we've been, over an hour and a half as of right now since this low kind of came in. Still trading at these 229s. Again, 229s potentially being a level of interest in my opinion, as I have it labeled as a kind of like a prior range high level. We have violated this level a bunch of times. So again, nothing too important, but I am kind of looking for something here. It could, very well not be there as well. I think the reversion definitely was this 229 halves down to VWAP 228s there. But that could be all she wrote in terms of a pullback here. Again, market very, very strong on the 50 basis point cut that we got yesterday off the FOMC. And there are a lot of tickers that are super, super strong on the day today. Again, tech sector, very strong as well. I'm looking at SMH right now. SMH is literally making high of days as we speak. And obviously TQs as well, kind of following in suit. AMD though, AMD trend is very, very strong. So is TSM. If you're looking at some of those other alternative chip names there, TSM super, super strong on the day as well. Tesla, yeah. Tesla still has not done a significant pullback. We're just trading sideways now on Tesla. So I think maybe Tesla. I gotta definitely be a little bit more patient if I'm looking for a reversion on Tesla. That could very well not come today, as again these markets are super strong on day 2 FOMC.
Yeah, very, very strong day 2 FOMC here. Darden, also very strong. Sorry, just lozenge. So let's see what we do here at Darden. What I've been doing is I've been moving my stop to par bar lows on a 5-minute. So the most recent one here, 172.70s. With that in mind, I should be moving this one here to 173.15. So I'm going to do that. Really happy with this trade. And honestly, like this is, sometimes you don't get you're not going to get your first fill. And this is one thing that you and Neil were talking about a while ago that I echo this conversation a lot because I think it was pretty key for my understanding of trading. Honestly, sometimes the trade is sweeter when you don't get it the first time because you've watched the levels, you know what you're looking for, right? You know what you want to see, you know what the stock has been doing. And so then when you're ready to see, you either see things be either skoshly or distinctly different, you know when you're ready to strike, and then you get that push. So that DRI, I knew once we broke above that 170, 150, that would be the level. And it made you wait for a little bit. It did, you know what I mean? It's to quote that song by Jeremiah, it makes you wait on it. But then it gets that, I don't know, I felt like singing. And then it pushes higher and you get that juice to the upside. So bit of an ask or a bit of a bid creep to the downside here. We're just at 173.25, now 26 is now at 25. So we're gonna have to wait and see what occurs there. Something got filled somewhere. I don't know what it was. Coin. Was it coin? Yeah, we got filled a coin long here. I was saying to Vicky on Novak, I'm going to also have to get my stop ready here. It's going to be just above 172s. So I was saying to Vicky on Novak that because they were in the chat like, this is coin along here now. And I said, well, I would be very cautious of 174 still. But I was looking at this. To be clear, this could always fake out, break out, but you have that support here at the 170, 170s. You have higher lows now. You still have your higher lows, even though you have lower highs. That's why I will be taking out part of this position here just below 174s, depending on what we do. You know what? We're going to take out some here at 173.50s. We're going to get, like, you know what I mean, about a point move here. And I say that just because That to me is a bit of a level that could still potentially be a lower high. So I'm okay taking out some of this in an area that might be premature. We're gonna wait and see if we break above that 173.50s, then I'd be watching 174s. But I like this coin. I have the same size as this that I did last time, risking the same amount as I did last time. Sometimes you gotta flip from short to long. So DRI, I should theoretically be getting stopped out here. It is a midpoint stop. So let's see what we do at 173.15s. Let's find out. We're holding this level pretty nicely as of right now. Did I set that stop correctly? No, I am wondering. Oh, no, I spelled my stop wrong. So good thing I checked that. Wow, okay. So instead of writing 173.15s, I wrote 137.15s. So good thing I checked. We're going to put this back in. We're going to see what happens here. On the Darden one, I have a feeling we get stopped out here. Yeah, we did. Okay, that's fine. We tried, we made the attempt, and this is why you have to proofread your stops. That was one of my biggest issues yesterday, was not doing proofreading. If we come back and bounce here off 172.70s, I might get long here again. I'm okay getting stopped out just because I didn't like what I was seeing on the book. Beyond what I was seeing on the chart, obviously I wish I had executed that better. And by that I mean not had a typo. But there are some other trades I'm in that I guess I should be talking about. Amazon being one of them here. AMZN, Coinbase I just discussed, that's fine. Amazon, I am still long. This is painstakingly slow. And look at how many times we wick almost near my beat quitter here at that 189.85. And then we keep rejecting. I'm keeping this level. I'm keeping my stop the same too, which is going to be that 189.25s. Because to me, I think if we hold that level, I still think we're bullish. If we break below it, I want no smoke. Apple got me stopped out break even. Maybe I shouldn't move that stop. That is what it is. If we keep holding here at 229, I still like the higher highs and higher lows. I don't know. I'm a little conflicted here in Apple, but I am not conflicted with regards to what happened here on Coinbase. I like that look as of right now. Amazon, sure, do your thing, 21. Now, Darden gives us a bit of a bid creep, so I arguably had my stop set a bit too conservatively on Darden, regardless of the fat finger. But you know what? Things happen. You learn every single day, and you figure out, you learn, you grow, you keep trading, and you're not going to learn if you don't try to take those hits, right? SoFi, someone mentioned a huge level here. I think it was John Del Senio potentially in the chat. Higher highs, higher lows. Yeah, I think that 846 level could be spicy. That was a bit of a V-shaped recovery from that point. Let's see, though, if we keep holding these. I think if we break below that 836s and change, that could be a bit, that would be a lower low, right? So you don't want to see that. I apologize for the brief glitch there. Promise I'm not a robot, just a human looking and trying to process a lot of charts. How are you doing over here?
Not too bad. This Meta finally started printing some 556s. We're printing 55690s right now on Meta. So let's see if we can pull back into that 556s again. Like I said earlier, that 556 could be an interesting level to watch, as it did a little bit of a consolidation base here for multiple minutes before pushing to the upside here. So a little bit of a reversion happening here on Meta. 556 is coming in as we were printing 55680s, 55660s now. So this thing has about a 15 to 20 penny spread at times, sometimes opening up and closing in as well. So there's 55650s right there as that level comes in. Let's see. I'm curious to know if we can catch a bid on top of 556s again, or is that bid gone? I have no idea, but I'm patiently waiting to see or look for the tape in and around that area. Again, the market's getting a little bit sideways here as we did push past that 19.9 on the NASDAQ, but not really push past too far as we're still trading about underneath that 19.950 as of right now. ES looking kind of strong as well. Let's see if some of these tickers can come in. Apple, though, oh boy, is still continuing to make higher highs and higher lows there. I do have to kind of, I guess, stop fighting this one until it gives me something significant, potentially a break of this trend to bring it in there to potentially VWAP, or the idea could definitely be wrong. We could close near higher days as well, right? The market is super strong on the day, so got to stay patient for that one to potentially come in. It seems like the stop is going to be coming in real quick here on the Apple. If we trade a little bit higher, I will be patient for the next trade. Let us know in the chat what you guys are trading, and we can take a look at those tickers as well. Maybe you guys are seeing something I am not either, so I'm more than willing to kind of indulge in ideas and discussion and taking a look at some more charts as well. So throw that up in the chat. Let us know, and we'll be more than happy to kind of take a look at those spider pushing some fresh highs here at 572 Zadara. Oh boy.
Oh boy, yeah, Spider really strong here. Apple really strong. I'm like, why was I not trying to get back into this Apple? But the thing is, you can't beat yourself up. You're not going to get every opportunity. The amount, though, that I want to beat myself up for Darden is like, I'm not going to lie, it's much. So here's the thing with Darden. Why was I should I have been, maybe, like I said, I need to work on my exit rules here. Maybe, honestly, if I'd used a 10-minute chart, that might have made more sense. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and belabor the point and beat myself up. Clearly, I was too conservative with my risk here. And I think the fact that I typoed my stop did not help because I was freaking out. I was like, why am I not getting stopped out? But what was that voice? I have no idea. Right now, we're holding 173.30 decently. Like I said, I have no interest in bouncing in on this. That being said, the 10-minute chart, though, is confirming my idea that a 172.70s long could be decent if we come back and support off that area. I don't want to chase this. Shout out to anybody if they are still long there, because you're olive branch and you're, this one's extending an olive branch to anyone in that olive garden. Good look here for Darden. Yeah, Lee Otto says Thomas Kondo. That is a name we don't look at a lot. So let's shout out our comrade who is not here today, Mr. Sharif. And let's look at Lee Otto. Okay. So why have I been making those weird sounds? Okay, I'll tell you guys. 21.20, right? 21 does something for you as support. Almost a rounded bottom, actually. Almost a rounded bottom. So we get that support, we get lower highs, flattish bottom, then we bottom hard here 21, start making higher lows. Now, we get about, 21.30, it's not 21.20, it's 21.30. 21.30, look at this. We get this rounded top here now at 21.30. If we bounce off this level, I think that's a nice long. If not, I think this could be a bit of a trend flip. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens here on Lee. Also, I added to Amazon. I did get filled. I wanted that VWAP ad. So let's see what happens here. I'm going to have to move my stop at this point with my regards to my new entry. So some quick maths. There we go. We're going to move this to just below 40s, just so I'm kind of risking the same amount I was initially intending on risking. So let's figure that out. Let's do one. There we go. Moving things in the real time, guys. Here, that's what we do here on these markets. You're going to see us get involved in trades, exit trades, leave trades too early. Shout out to Darden. Everything. And I think that's one thing that's great about this community. We get to have these experiences together. We get to see what you guys are all trading. You guys get to see what we're trading. Coinbase near my first peak water here, my first point of profit, and that is going to be 173.50s. Now I'm wondering if I was too aggressive with this because we got to 173.39s on the book on the ask, right? Then we creep down to 35s. I'm seeing a bit of an ask creep here, and I do not like it, Sam, I am. But let's find out if we get some green eggs and SoFi. That being said, we just did a bit of a jump here on the book. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to wait. I'm going to keep my stop where it is. At a certain point, once we get above this 173.50 area, should we clear it? I'm going to move my stop to prior bar highs. There we go. We get the first fill. I will be watching 174. But you know what's great, too? What happens here, OB? You can have, markets of all kinds, but one market that you do have, I can't think of a good pun. Let's dive into the markets and take a swim with Trade the Pool. We got there eventually. Nice. So becoming a funded trader, you guys know what that means? Trading with the firm's money instead of your own. And at Trade the Pool here, you basically what you're going to do is complete an evaluation by hitting profit targets while managing risk. And once you pass, what you get to do is access up to $260,000 in buying power. And guess what? You get to keep up to 80% of your profits, okay? And the firm will be covering that risk. And it is the perfect way to become a funded trader without risking your own funds. So are you ready to become a funded trader, Obi? I mean, I know we are over here. But what you have to do is join Trade the Pool, scan the QR code, or click the link in the description. Also, I do want to shout out there to Darwin saying ask creep trademark. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I'd use that trademark for, but shout out, appreciate you, Darwin. Darwin also coined Confidera in the chat because I know I like my confidence button. But there we go. Confident about Coinbase. Amazon is existing. I don't want, I still feel good about, I don't feel bad about it. I just want to wait and see what happens there. Happy with Coinbase. Let's see what we do at 174s. How are you doing over here, Obi?
Not too bad here. Just watching this meta kind of coming into that 556 level, slowly but surely kind of trickling down. So I do have eyes on that potentially there. Apple, I am kind of, I re-engaged once again here on Apple, maybe attempting too many tries, as I definitely have hit my 3-strike rule. I guess once, twice, thrice, and a fourth time just prior to this. So definitely a bit of a chop here, getting slightly chopped up as the market pulls to the upside and does catch a bid. What I am noticing, Dara, is that a lot of these strong sells that do kind of come in, each one of them are getting a little bought up there. So that is something I do want to keep in mind here, as again. That could be potentially something important to watch out for. If we are getting bought up on every aggressive dip, then the bid is definitely a little strong on the day, and I do have to respect that there. Again, don't want to be fighting day 2 FOMC too hard, but that has been the best trade of the day, I would say, as a lot of these tickers, if you got long in the morning session, they're still trading well above any of those prices there. Even if you held through some of these pullbacks here, the longs are definitely very, very strong and in charge of this market right now when it comes to, especially when it comes to some of the top constituents here on the day. So going to be watching that. Amazon taking a pullback off of its VWAP here right now. Spider also, that's still that 572.04 is the high of day right now. We just printed that. Actually, what is that? 7204, 7204. A bit of a double top at 572.04 here on the Spider. So, oh boy, let's see if that kind of means anything here. How much time is left on this 15-minute candle to print? I got about 6 minutes and 30 seconds here. So we've gone about almost two-thirds of that time there on the 15-minute candle. Let's see if that can potentially bring it in here with the candle close. But Softy as well, still sideways, man. Underneath that, we can't really get past that 440 on Softy. So going to continue watching that one. Another stop out there on the Apple. So you know what, I will kind of pack my patience now. I've gone stopped out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times now, trying to get short. And then the short did kind of work, but I was looking for too much. I was looking for a full-on push back down in towards VWAP there. Not really giving it to us right away. So I will be a little bit more patient. Maybe even size down a little bit if I do want to continue pushing into it and then get aggressive as it starts to work a little bit better there. But we're printing the quarter above 229s now, so I do want to stay a little bit patient. Take a look at this. This is what I'm looking at here. This is the trend that we're holding right now, and I guess that we reverted that trend right there, and then trying to revert this trend once again here on the day. Let's see if that can potentially come in on the day. To NY Cent saying or asking any way to find out if we got a seller on Nvidia at 199.35. I have no idea. Let's pull up Nvidia. Let's see if we can see anything on the tape there. NVDA, is there a seller at 199.35? Well, the thing is, right now it's trading above that level. So let's see. Oh boy. Okay, so we're taking a bit of a pullback right there through 199.35. So I have no idea. Nothing's really showing up on the tape there. Here, let me pull up the tape on this screen as well so you guys can see. But yeah, we're trading around 199.34s, 35s right now. So let's see. I haven't been watching this for very long, but I feel like if we've been watching this over time, then yeah, maybe. It does seem like every time we do get into this area, give or take 20, 30 pennies, we do kind of sell back into this 119 area here after kind of washing this 199.35. So with that, potentially there could be some selling in and around this area. Again, that initial pop off of the opening session also kind of catching a little bit of resistance in this area just below this 119.5 on Nvidia. So yeah, nice little look, but yeah, I have no idea. Nothing really is showing itself right away on the book there. So yeah, I guess that's as much as I can answer your question. I have no idea if there is a seller there or not.
Also, yeah, worth noting here. So we do have, thank you to Day Trader Cup for reminding us. I mentioned this during the Money Talk segment, but we do have President Joe Biden speaking at 1 p.m. Also at 1 p.m., 10-year tips auction. So hopefully that might give us some tips as to how the afternoon is going to go. Because you know there can be that 1 p.m. bond re-auction, as I like to call it, the auction reaction. Amazon bouncing off 40s, which is where I moved my stop after adding here around that VWAP area, 65s. I don't know. I don't want to get out of this prematurely on Darden. To be clear, that was where my stop was in Darden, but I'll deal with that later, probably in a tweet at tradertv.live if you want to follow that. Anyways, so Amazon here, though, pushing below the 90 MA. If we break below this 189.40 level, okay, there we go. We broke below 40s. We got the stop hit. Cool. Now, I am actually very interested in a short if we get below 30s. Like I said, with Amazon, my biggest levels I'm playing off of are going to be the 30s and the 50s, because those are levels that were pretty key. If we break below 30s here, I'm getting short 30s. I'm going risking it into 50s. Oh, we break below 30s? Oh, no, we didn't. I said, look at those 30s. Those 30s are hitting. I'm not getting long again, but I'm going to be cognizant of that. Also, coin is like, oh, Atera, I know Amazon's being difficult, so I'm not going to stop you out. I'm like, okay. And I say that because I'm shocked I haven't been, because we are like kissing up next to my stop. I did clarify. I typed the stop right. I promise. I only make that joke because I actually did have a stop typo with Darden. I'm using the 10-minute prior bar on Coinbase, which is arguably what I should have done with Darden, because to me, like the way coin moves, I think it kind of makes sense when I'm risking here into, at this point, 172.80s. So if we like look at the kind of bounce off this level, right? I think beyond the fact that it's prior bar lows, it's a level that makes sense. That being said, I realize that me trying to kind of like wait and hold for a piece of the dream, it's unrealistic given how hard Coinbase rejected that 174. Now I watched, like we had to pull down in the market with Coinbase, sure, like it wasn't just coin, but Coinbase goes from almost 174. We never got to that area earlier. That was definitely a bit of must have been a dark pool because I was watching and I never saw us wick into that area. But Coinbase goes from like almost 174s to all the way down below 173s. So I already had the stop set. That was fine, but I just think it's worth noting Coinbase here really struggling with that 174 area. Happy I took out part of it where I did at that 173.50, but I still do think the big white whale level is going to be 174s. Let's see if we get what we get and we do not get upset. Also, it is we just have a 1 minute till that tip action. It's keeping tip auction. A lot of people mentioning EWIM here, so let's take a look at IWM. That curl back to the upside. Yeah, I kind of had eyes on that, but I was like, Adara, you got enough pieces of pie here, enough hands and enough charts here.
Oh boy.
IWM. Oh, double bottom, higher. Obi. This is a beautiful chart. I don't know what to say. Like it made me make a really obscene sound. I do apologize, guys, for your ears and the fact that you had to hear me do that. But look at this base here at 222.22s. 222.20. Look at these higher lows. Look at this flat top. We break 224. Russ would, in fact, be the greatest rapper alive. Like the balance of the evidence here is telling me this is going to continue to be a long. Higher highs, higher lows. This is a great push. EWM, the amount that I am tempted to get involved in you right now is very strong, but I'm not going to get involved with you till we have that auction. As we wait for that re-auction, Obi, what do you have eyes on over here right now?
Again, I'm just watching this Meta and Apple here. I guess Tesla as well. Market has not really done any sort of reversion here when it comes to the futures there, but Meta definitely coming in quite nice. So yeah, I don't really have eyes on anything else. I guess we can be waiting for this auction to potentially come in. I guess it isn't. I'm seeing tape speed kind of do some jittering here. So let's see if this can bring in any sort of change in trend here on the day. But yeah, no, some wipes of the book both ways. So I guess really muted there. I have no idea what potentially the auction can bring.
It usually takes a minute
but let's see. I have it right here. Balance of trade. I don't have the numbers updated just as of yet. So let's see when that potentially comes in. We can kind of read that out here. Apparently forecast for unemployment. Okay, never mind. I'm looking at something else right here. 10-year tips auction right here. And not there just yet. I guess prior one was 1.88%. That's the one. I think that's the right one I'm looking at right here.
The prior, yeah, 1.883. Yeah, that's the prior one. So we're just waiting for the new one now. Yeah. Nice. So we'll let you guys know when we get that. That is going to be the 10-year tips auction. Again, sometimes it takes a moment to populate, so we're still checking. Coin stops me out here as we get that push below that 173 level. So it's all good there. Happy I tried that trade. What else do we have here? Amazon, though, we are short. Like I said, waiting for that 189.30, short risking to 189.50. Comfortable with that. Thank you, T-Daddy. I'm happy I'm able to be fun. I don't know. I really like the markets. It's easy to be energetic when you like what you're doing, right? And I think these markets, if you like what you're doing, they give you so many opportunities. I'm just looking at Meta, and oh my gosh, like Obi, shout out on that trade. That is a dope look there on META. Like, honestly, like, I drew these lines here, so I guess I like that 555. I don't know why. Oh, 5 minute. That's why I drew it. Yeah, this is interesting. I think if we break below that 557 area, this is a really dope short. I love that casual breakdown of 559s. I was looking at this one earlier as well. Couldn't find a way to get in that made sense to me. But yeah, I mean, you had it basically start of the move, so I really want to shout that out. Saw that on my side chart, and I was like, ooh, pretty look. We got the, wow, okay, so oh wait, now I'm not even seeing the 1 year tips. I guess it's still populating there. If anyone sees that, thank you. Please let us know. Sorry for the, okay, there we go. No, that's still the 4 week. I apologize there. We're going to find out. We will let you know. We promise. Yeah, Coinbase still doing a little bit of a reversion. Amazon chilling. What else is going on here? What are people looking at? IWM, back above that 224. Okay, so IWM decides to react to the reauction or the auction reaction there, trying to push up higher. This is a great look, honestly. The amount that I attempted to go long and risk into 223.85. So look at Derek, you're looking at too many things already. Breathe, chill. Whew. But yeah, that is a really nice look there. Thank you, Daytrader Cut, for letting us know here. So we got the 10-year tips high yield 1.592% compared to, as Obi said there, previous of 1.88%. So really nice look there for the 10-year tips auction, a bit lower than expected. The market's still trying to decide how it feels to that. This is something that you're not always going to get an auction reaction, but when you do, sometimes it can be a bit violent. So shout out to that. Thank you very much to Daytrader Cut for letting us know. I'm looking at Apple here. And I do not want to cop anybody's style, but this short, I was long this briefly, got stopped out break even. If we break below this 220, what is this, 229, like 15s, wow, I do really feel like I'm copying your style because you're short 229 and 14s. But this is a pretty good look here. I do apologize for the accidental copying here. But yeah, I think if we break below this level with that lower high, the short could be in. How, you do know right over here, how are those trades going for you?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm, again, getting a little action here as the futures take a little bit of a bounce. So again, nothing has changed in terms of the meta. Meta is still kind of trending to the downside here. Apple still struggling, a bit of a struggle there to get past these 229s just now. But again, we could continue past, and I'm just kind of trying this short way too many times here. But the meta is working nicely here. We did get down to 556 as Adara. 556, what is it? 556.30s was the low there, and we're catching a little bit of a bid here on Meta platform. So let's see if that 556 is actually a platform for us to catch a bit of a bid here on the day. But oh boy, I was looking for 556s. We bounced 30 pennies off of that. Maybe that's all I should be asking for there. But a nice little trend to the downside here off of a potential reversion there. We tried it a couple of times before it actually did start to work. But it has come in quite nicely here. For that 556s, can I expect a little bit of a bounce right away when we come into the area? Yeah, sure, why not? That's where we had the aggressive buying kind of continue off of the morning session around that area. So potentially some interest definitely still a little bit there. But the question becomes, is that bounce going to sustain? Is it going to be sustained good enough to kind of break this trend as well? So those are the questions I'm asking as of right now. I'm more than willing to kind of get out of this one. Again, it's been fluctuating about like what is it? This was a pullback of almost 1%, right? About 0.9% pullback there off of the highs here on Meta from 561s all the way to 556s. Didn't quite get those 561s, but we got 559.80s, which is fine. There, a point here and there is not too bad, but it can definitely be a little bit more precise with that one if and when it does come in. I know in the chat, I forget who it was, but somebody was pointing out Intel a bunch of times there. I think EVO hugs. So yeah, I guess we can take a quick look at Intel and see what Intel is up to. I have been trading Intel a little bit over the past few days there, as it is breaking out or attempting to break out of some of its prior levels here. Again, we got that news of that Amazon Web Services deal or partnership that happened with them, and we've been kind of having some strong action since that news on Intel. So I do like Intel as a name, but not necessarily my main focus on the day today. Again, I'm just looking for, I guess, reversions of this crazy strength that we're getting in the market right here. So if people are buying, I'm looking to potentially sell to said people once that buying kind of slows down there. I guess that's the idea. 556 halves coming right back in. So that base right here, as of right now, a bit of a platform on top of that 556 30s. We're trading at 556 halves as of right now. Let me just pull, oh, that is Apple. Let's pull that back up. But yeah, right here, this is the book right here. 51s by 64s on the 556s trading as of right now. A bit of a pullback happening as we pull back into that 19.9 on the NASDAQ. So let's see if we are poised for a bit of a pullback here as well on Apple. You can see this is beautiful. This has been holding trend, and I've been getting short over and over again in anticipation of the break of this trend. I think I may be spending a little bit too much risk in anticipation, and I'll have enough space, enough risk left to really kind of slam it in if we do kind of break that trend. Just trying to get a little bit better prices until then. But Sean is saying he is reloaded. Sean, what are you reloaded on?
I'm trading one named Google.
Google, okay, yeah, I know that one has been taking a bit of a pullback there as well. Still trading below that 163. So yeah, Google definitely relatively weak when compared to some of these other names on the day today. So got to continue watching. Definitely Mag 7 definitely in play. Market definitely in play. Again, day 2 FOMC, guys. A lot of strong action from yesterday, and we finally got a rate cut of 50 basis points. So should be interesting. Going forward off of this point here. Definitely got to throw in an anchored at some of those FOMCs as well.
Yeah, FOMC anchored there. Good look. Apple, I'd like to get short the 229.10s, but I'm waiting because I keep seeing bounce at the 229.10s level. This might be the time where we finally break. And again, just for my purposes, right? Like you can trade the same name and trade them differently, right? I have different kind of styles. So I just want to clarify, like for myself, I love support resistance flips. If this flips, and the reason I'm waiting for this, because this was pretty hard resistance earlier. If this supports, given all those topping tail candles, I don't really want that smoke. If it rejects, I would like almost all the smoke. So not all, you want to save your lungs, a little bit of your lungs, but let's see what happens here. We are going to go short here, though. Now we're going to risk this into 35s. Let's see if we get what we desire here on that AAPL. The short I really wanted as the market quitted, and the short I was willing to actually, we're going to get our stop set here. Let's do 229.34s, and let's make sure we don't typo it. There we are, we're good to go. So the stop, the short I really wanted as we made those new lows, other than the one I'm already in, which is Amazon, which is doing a heck of a lot of nothing, was Palantir. Palantir, like to me, was a top Palantir trade as a short. I love these lower highs. I love the VWAP. I know I hadn't traded that one yet today, but I was like, you know what, Adara, you get that, like get involved at like, I think 84s is where I had my area. You risk into 89s, which is the top of that previous range. Perfect. You know what Palantir does? Throws up. I don't get short at all. I was like, eh. But it's all good there. I would like to see what we do here at 75s. If we reject 75s a couple times, I can go short. Because, I mean, Palantir, we're talking about a revert. We haven't moved down. We revert. This is a reversion of a reversion, Obi. That's the word I'm looking for. Yes. We had that reversion. Now we have reverted the reversion. But can we revert the reversion again? Are we going to revert the reversion of the reversion at 3650s? I mean, let's see. Let's find out. But I think whatever happens here, I think it could be pretty spicy, pretty interesting. Let's talk about the trade that is putting me to sleep. And I mean, I joke because almost everything can put me to sleep. It's one of the hallmarks of my personality. But Amazon here, finally breaking below that 189.20, which is not even really a level I had on Amazon. It wasn't particularly interesting in the book, nor was it particularly interesting in the chart. But now we get AMZN here. I want to see what we do if we break below those 07s. Yeah, we're going to add to the short at 07s. That was a level I liked earlier. We're going to add some sharage here at 07. I don't have enough buying power for that. Fine, that's cool. I'll keep what I got. I'm cool with what I have. We're going to take out a piece here at 188.88, not just because of the confluence of eights. It's also a pretty hard shelf earlier, so I want to see what we do above that level. At this point, I'm going to be moving my stop to, I'll keep my stop where it is. I'm cool with my stop where it is at 50. 50s is still a huge resistance area. And I know I have, one could accuse me of moving my stops too aggressively. With that in mind, a moment of silence for my Darden long. To be clear, I'm not going to cry myself to sleep over this trade. Like, it is what it is. I'm acting all upset. I took a 1.5 on this move. Like, Adara, be grateful. I fat-fingered my stop. I realized I fat-fingered my stop. Was like, oh my gosh, change the stop. I changed the stop. The stop was arguably too conservative. We keep ramping up. But you know what? It's all good, baby. Not all your trades are going to be a dream. But the main thing that matters, I mean, to me, it's not going to be P&L. P&L comes after. What you have to do first is progress and learning. Shout out to T Daddy saying, I see that PLTR call and agree. Yeah, I mean, let's see what we do here, Palantir. Palantir, if you reject 84s, like I said, the area that I wanted to have that short, then, I mean, you're still a short. But if you break above 84s, the amount I'm tempted to do a very small reversion long is pretty large. But also, the other part of me is like, should I be focusing on tickers I like if they're still, or tickers I've already been trading if they're still setting up? Coinbase, still making these higher lows. I want to shout out Vicky on Novak for calling this one out. This one was on my side chart regardless, but like, I mean, it's one that I think has some plays. If we break above that 173.50 level, that would be a higher high. As of right now, we still have some lower highs and also some higher lows. So let's see what kind of coin we get in coin. But Obi, the Apple is that MacBook is kind of falling a little bit. They smashed the MacBook, Obi, and I am pleased as punch with that MacBook getting thrown against the wall, as I'm sure you are, because I mean, like all jokes aside, I know you're not the biggest fan of Apple in terms of the products. How are you doing over here?
I mean, yeah, in terms of the products, I think again, I'm not a big fan in terms of the stock. Oh boy, I definitely like the stock. Let me tell you that I do hold a little bit of Apple there from I think average like 167 or something like that.
Nice.
Now, so not too bad. They're working out decently here. But take a look at that. We talk about the reversion right there. Look at that trend break off of 229s, and we slam down. Let's see if we can pull back even further there. That is a beautiful break in the trend. Let's see, can we get some confluence with the market coming in? Can we print below that 19.9? We attempted, we tried, we attempted to push higher highs and higher lows, and we finally broken a little bit of that trend as of right now. Here comes 556s on the Meta. Can Meta crack down a little bit lower there? Again, 554s is where Meta is sitting at in terms of VWAP. So only about 2 points away from there. I'm just waiting, being patient. I got maybe a little too aggressive here on the Apple shorts, trying it aggressively multiple times and getting bigger and bigger as it gets higher and higher. Again, and me thinking like, okay, well, if it goes higher, well, the EV is a little bit better here, in my opinion. And I did get more and more aggressive here. So thankfully, that's coming in a little bit right now. Let's see if there's going to be continuation, right? We could continue to go sideways. We could continue to watch this 229s. I have no idea, but technically right now we did break a trend that we have been holding. Let me measure this right here. We've been holding this trend for about 2 hours, Adara. So that 2 hour trend hold breakdown, oh boy, can we get a reversion to VWAP here? 556s, 30s coming in here on Meta. So I wanted to be patient for this level to come in. I like the 554s, but you know what? If this will have me right here at 556s, I'm more than willing to take that off right now as we do test, as we come in to test some of that. What do you call that level from before, 556 support. Here comes so we bid right back up to 229s. Oh boy. All right, so nice little wicking action there, aggressive selling, getting bought right back up. So I guess I do have to kind of respect that action. The trend break gets bought right back up, and we are looking to close potentially right there once again. So I do have to be respectful of that price action as, again, I have no idea what it's going to do, but if it's going to tell me that, okay, well, this is maybe potentially happening right now in terms of like buying, coming right back in, I'm going to look for it to buying to sustain. And if buying sustains, then maybe I will pack my bags and kind of look elsewhere, as we talked about before, what things are really kind of setting up for playbook trades here. Bit of a triple top-ish, head and shoulders, maybe potentially, maybe flat top. I don't know. What are chart patterns? The price is building up on NVIDIA into the highs is what I'm talking about as of right now. And yeah, Meta catching a little bit of a bid. I did kind of post there at the halves. It didn't really take me there at the halves, but you know what? That's perfectly fine. More than willing to take off at some of these prices here if Meta will have me in the 90s. So let's see. Bit of a curl. Yeah, we did come in. We did come into those 556s, and we are catching a bit of a bounce here. So I do want to respect that action as well on Meta. We did pull back again, aggressively strong on the day. Can it pull all the way back to VWAP? Well, look at Apple. Apple hovered above VWAP, right? Apple could not get all the way down into VWAP, kind of showing us that, yeah, maybe there is a strong bid on this ticker today, and we continue to push up higher off of that, and aggressive selling continuing to get bought up as well. So I do have to respect that, like I said before. So here comes Meta trading above those 557s once again, but I think I'm just sitting here on the bid or just below to see if Meta will take me out on the cover, and we're getting a little aggressive to the upside. So that 556 catching a little bit of a bounce. I think that was maybe potentially a little bit expected, as we did consolidate there earlier and took about a 2-point run to the upside there on Meta, while that 556 held. 229s trading back above there right now, Ladera.
Yeah, so I moved my stop on both Amazon and Apple. Amazon, my stop is now here at 189.40s. That's because I basically moved the stop to reflect. I wanted to be risking the same amount of my total percentage of my risk, regardless of where I added. So I moved it with that in mind. 40s is also a hard rejection area. So for me, like the 40 area makes sense regardless. Let's see that we might get stopped out at Amazon here. Apple, I moved the stop to break even. We already got stopped out there. Apple, once again, a conservative stop gets me. Look, I stop out break even on the long, and then it goes up here. Stop out break even in the short. We keep protecting. So honestly, like Adara, why were you at least like 21s? Like, why are you scared to like lose 10 cents? Like, ugh. Anyways, I'm already aggressively journaling in front of y'all. It's a preview of the aggressive journaling that is to come. Amazon, though, I still like this trade. I added where I did it because that 189, like 09s, 10s area was kind of interesting to me. I like to add there. I did take out a piece as well, or de-risked at 189s, and that was because we were really struggling to break 189s. It wasn't my favorite level on Amazon. That continues to be what area around 188.80s. Currently have my out again around 188.88s, but I will be saving a piece for the dream. But yeah, so Amazon right now, like that's the deal. DRI though, Darden. When I started Nunya Biz, who apparently shorted Darden, like at the open, or wait, I want to make sure I read this right because this is a dope trade. Shorted the top pre-market. I mean, shout out to you, Nunya Biz. That trade is. You're all about your biz on that trade. That is a great short. My thing here for Darden is I like this as a potential reversion short as well. But I have a couple things that make me hesitant. A, the book is still bullish. We had a bit of a bid creep, trademark, maybe. I'm joking. So I don't like that. But we just got a bit of an ask creep to the downside here. We went from 173.44s to 173.43s. Now and we just got 42s. Okay, Darden. I see you, Darden. So to me, that is one of the most bearish or bullish things a spready stock can do. If you go, if you're looking for to go long and you see a bit of a creep up on the bid by like cents, and this thing is spready, you're like, okay, I see you. And the same as if you're looking for a short here, okay, Darden is definitely bearish now. We just got an ask creep by 3 cents. So a lot of people will ask sometimes in the chat, like, oh, like what do you look for in spready tickers? Because you talk a lot about how you look at the book. To me, that's one of the biggest things that I look for on the book is how are we interacting with these kind of levels here? Are we seeing anything that's distinctly different or even skoshly different? Because, okay, there we go. So my plan for this was to short 173.10, so kind of the base of this little trough here. No, 15s actually makes more sense. Am I using SPY out of the area I got stopped out? Maybe, we'll never know. But either way, the 15 area makes sense. That's why I had my stop there. Now, the reason I'm waiting till 15s is because we're still seeing things that are a little bit bullish here on the book. Now we're getting a bid creep. We still look a bit bull flaggish, so I'm not rushing into this, but just so you guys know, Darden, I'm ready to eat you up for supper. Darden restaurants, get a fork, get a knife, pretend that's how people eat food. I don't know. Meta, though, doing a bit of a reversion here, reverse deception, as I sit next to the reversion man, who's JPow. No, I'm joking. Yeah, you do.
JPow is a reversion man.
But if you trade reversions, are you not also the reversion man?
No. I'm just participating in what the chart is kind of doing. Let's say that.
That's fair, I guess. But yeah, I like Meta.
JPow is definitely the reversion.
That is he is as he does. But yeah, this Meta here at this 558 potentially. I like what I'm seeing in the book. Between that and Darden, right now I think Meta might be setting up a bit better. We just got to, Meta. I think I might go long Meta here. But I want to shout out your short because that was a very dope short here on Meta. The other reason I like Meta here, guys, is look at how it held this trend here just below 557. The trend is your friend until the end when it bends. Will it? I mean, you never know. That's the risk with the markets, right? Things are going to happen. Things are going to shake you out. But you have to believe in yourself, have confidence, look at things with the balance of the evidence. How you doing?
Not too bad here. Yeah, I did stop out of that meta. I guess I kind of chased it up. Definitely need some better orders to get into the spread there. I kind of chased it up from 5.56 halves all the way to 5.58. So that's a bit of a nasty chase for the cover there. But yeah, that worked out. Okay. And yeah, that bid. I was looking at that 5.56. We kind of call out that 5.56 from earlier, being like, all right, this was a significant place on the chart. We stopped there for a little bit, attempted to pull back in, and we caught a strong bid that took us all the way to 5.61s off of 5.56s, and I'm like, all right, oh boy, can we potentially find that bid coming in? And that bid definitely did come in, 5.56s to 5.58, so about a 2-point run up there on Meta. I got out 5.579s, which is not the best. I definitely can be doing much better with that, but again, the trade potentially may not be over, as if we continue to make lower highs here on Meta, I do want to kind of re-engage here as the market attempts to kind of, well, it's going more sideways, right? It's more sideways action here on top of this 19.9 on the Nasdaq. So, excuse me. So, gonna be watching that. Apple still holding this 229 area as of right now. Nothing too crazy on that action there. So a little bit of sideways consolidation. I have no idea. Let's see whether or not some of these levels can come in. Bit of a pullback here on Meta as well. Oh boy. Let's see. I think the next place to get involved right here, maybe not getting short for me at this current place here, but that 5.56, if that can come back in, I'm definitely going to be watching there and potentially being a little bit more aggressive with my order types, as again, I was not aggressive enough. I chased almost 2 points, but I've actually posted 5.56. I think, let me check my history here. So I posted 5.56 halves, then I posted 5.56 90s, didn't get those, and then I'm like, all right, let me just post in the middle of the spread, which is probably what I should be doing, and kind of got that one there off of that, I guess, little action there to the upside, but we are pulling right back into 5.57. So, oh boy, the move is definitely coming in as we speak. Let's see what some of these other tickers are up to. TSM, reversion, not yet. SMH, reversion, not yet. AMD, not yet either. These tickers are strong to the upside. Nvidia as well, very strong to the upside. Looking at some of these ETFs here as well. I got the spiders. I got I guess UVixi up as well. I got the SOXL. I have XLF up. XLF financial sector a little bit sideways today. I got the Russell as well. Russell's kind of sideways, flushed off of the open there, and I guess Tesla on watch as well as we hit 243.97s as the high of day on Tesla. So no reversion there just yet. Again, like I said, walking to the floor this morning, I did come in a little late, and there was only 2 tickers that I saw, well, maybe 3, that I was like, oh boy, I definitely want to be on the backside of this move if and when they do come in, and that was Apple, that was Meta, and that was Tesla. So took 2 of those tickers there, got a piece off of Meta, not too bad. I think we're pretty much, I mean, I took about a point of a loss there, did not size more aggressively on the right side when it does come in, because I wanted the 561s, and I was like, oh boy, let me just size down and take the 560 back through, and I guess that was it right there. I got to do a little bit better with that one there, because like when you are on the right side of the move, maybe I should be definitely risking a lot more, putting a lot more risk on for the move, and it gives you about 4 points to the downside, as 5.56's prior support, a little bit of a bus stop on the way up, comes right back into fruition and holds once again for a 2-point pop. So let's see what the markets have in store for us right now. 19.9s, still kind of dancing on top of those 19.9s is the Nasdaq. So not really getting anywhere as of right now. A bit of a sideways chop in this midday session here, Adara. So I don't have too much going on. What do you got going on there? I see that you are also short Apple right now, 228.95s. Nice.
Yeah, not like the level of anyone's dreams or anything, but why I liked it there, like I said, like, you know, it has to be about how you read and how you approach the market. I liked it because we were pushing below that kind of trough-ish area here around that 229.90s. We're almost definitely going to get stopped out here, but that's why I liked it. I don't know. As I got in, I was kind of like, Andrea, are you chasing? I don't know. I'm risking appropriately. I'll say that. You know what I mean? I'm risking to 229.20s. That was definitely the wick top there. It also would be a higher high on a wick basis. So if we get above that, I want zero smoke on that. Meta, I should have waited for the proper 557.50 long instead of getting long here at 558. Like, Adara, maybe instead of risking into the level you like, just get involved at the level you like. Isn't that a thought? So Meta, that was a bit of an L. I still like the Palantir version, and I've had a couple opportunities to take it. A couple times I just didn't get filled because I was already in Meta. And then I could have gotten filled here arguably at 36.86s, but I was like, you know what, Adara, you're looking at too many tickers. This might not be like an A+ setup. Who knows how much is in play? Look for tickers that excite you a little bit more. So with that in mind, DRI. Still setting up as a short. I don't know why I said that all dramatically. Also, DRI, doing the opposite of our lesson of the day. We talk about rounded bottoms. I see a little bit of a rounded top on DRI. So to be fair, still arguably a bull flag. How I would do this trade also, because I don't think I talked about, I talked about how I want it. I didn't talk about how I trade it. I'm getting short DRI at 123.15s, and given how this is a spready ticker, what we were just talking about with those, sometimes you want to go kind of midpoint. This might be around where I'd have to probably try to get entered here. 173.15 is risking into 65, so risking about 50 cents. It also is the top of that range, so I think that's a fair area. Okay, we just got a bit of a move down here. We're going to get involved. We're going to start really small with this position. We're risking 50 cents. And then we're going to add here. Okay, we just got another creep down in the ask. Let's go, DRI. Okay, another ask creep. Okay, dope. So where am I at? What am I doing from here? If we get below that 172.80 area, this was hard rejection. So I want to see if this builds support. If it builds support, I'm not interested. If it breaks below, I will be adding, and then we're going to be looking for 171.50s, saving a piece for that dream. Honestly, I really like this trade. We just dropped a little bit on the bid, so let's see what happens here. Apple not stopping me out, but not doing anything particularly interesting here. Amazon did stop me out. Guys, I know I've been involved, I've only really been involved in 5 tickers today. And that, I'm trying to get involved a little bit less every day. But I appreciate what you had to say with regards to if opportunities set up, take them. And that's what I've really been trying to do. A lot of these stocks keep having the same opportunities for me. Coinbase, a little disappointed I missed that 172 short because I kept waxing poetic about 172. I saw it in my side chart and I was like, oh, but you could just stare at Palantir more and not trade it. So why don't you do that? So I don't know what that voice was. Anyways, we did not get short 172 here. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could probably do the lesson one more time here. Rounded bottoms. Coin kind of maybe a bit of a spiky rounded top. How are you doing?
Not too bad here. I guess just watching Amazon. Sorry, not Amazon. Meta. I was listening to your Amazon talk there. Meta catching or holding the bid now here a little bit higher, 557. So we did break this trend. So we broke that trend, we faded in, and then now we're breaking this downtrend that we've been kind of having here. Here comes a little bit of a pop on the market, oh boy, as Apple ticks right back up. So gonna be watching that one there as well. But yeah, nothing too crazy. I think somebody in the chat, Fugazi Bear in the chat, talking about saying, Obi, look at AMD reversion. Yeah, I got my eyes on AMD, but no real sign of a reversion happening on AMD. AMD is super strong on the day here today. So looking very similar to I guess TSM, to SMH, to SOXL. Yeah, AMD is super strong on the day here. Looking a little bit opposite, again, kind of in the related to chip sector for sure, is ARM. ARM has been selling off pretty much all day. So watching that one as well, nothing too crazy. SMCI as well. Both ARM and SMCI have been selling off, distinctly different from some of their other tech buddies here on the day. So yeah, it should be a little interesting action there on some of those chip names. But other than that, like I keep saying, the market is in play today. I think that, again, the bids are definitely showing themselves as they become in aggressive. Every time we do get some strong selling here. Again, Apple's a great example. We've been getting some strong sells every now and then, incrementally, and then we get those dips kind of bought right back up over and over again as well. So, again, don't want to be fighting this too much. I have my allocated risk for said ticker. Don't want to be giving it too many risk units here on the day. Again, the day is not over, Adara. We still have about I guess 2.5 hours here until the bell, and I have not heard a bell yet, so I am still here fighting the good fight, but maybe fighting a little bit too much on this Apple short. But let's see if it comes in. 558's coming back here on Meta, so absolutely crazy here. So that bid definitely catching on off of that 556 level. That was, I guess, the place to get a little bit long for a scalp, as that 556 makes a nice little low here, and we get that. I guess not really too hard of a reversion, but yeah, we did get a trend break into a push of over about a point off of the trend break. I think trend breaks in and around somewhere here, just above 557s, and we got to 558s and some change here on the day. And yeah, that trend is definitely holding here on the chart here on the Nasdaq. So. Yeah, so let's see what else you guys are trading here. I see that Adara is chopping up that DRI again. That you said that's an earnings day one play,
earnings
right?
day one, yeah.
Earnings day one play. So yeah, definitely doing some relative volume on that one there. That's not something I definitely checked out this morning. Let's take a quick look at that one, DRI. Let's see if that's what kind of relative volume that's doing. Okay, so we're doing over 9 times relative volume on a 5 period, and oh boy, we're doing over 2,000 times relative volume in the pre-market. So I guess, yeah, this ticker, I guess I have it questioning then how much average volume does this thing actually do? Okay, so we do about 1.15 average 30-day volume, and current volume is 2 million. So that doesn't make sense in terms of 10 times relative vol. But again, I have no idea. I think maybe we might have had some low volume days in the past 5 trading sessions there. That's why that indicator takes it off of the 5 prior days there, as it is a 5 period relative volume indicator on the day. So yeah, Darden restaurants catching a little bit of a bid there off of the day low, but trading sideways, still well within its earnings reaction high and low there. So a bit of an inside chop there on DRI. Here comes Apple once again. Oh boy, gonna get stopped out once again. That's okay. I will wait for the next trade. That's what I'm asking right now, Dara. What is the next trade? Where is the next trade? I have no idea, but I'm just waiting for it to fall into my lap. And AMD, Tesla, definitely going to be ones to watch. And of course, Soxel might have the liquidity I'm looking for to potentially size into this reversion trade if it can come in. But I think basically trading beta right now. The market is in an uptrend. Apple's in an uptrend. Meta is pulling back to 557s. Okay, thank you. Yeah, Spider's in an uptrend as well. Looking at some of the tech names here, we kind of pointed out distinctly different, ARM and SMCI, but kind of the rest of them here, very strong trend to the upside. So maybe potentially looking for that trend to break. I see Softies taking a bit of a pullback here right now. So maybe the break of the low on Softy is what brings in the break of trend here on the market. Again, Softy is a very heavy constituent when it comes to some of these ETFs and products. So I think with a break of that Microsoft low of day right now is 436.89. We're trading at 437.89 Adara. So let's take a quick look at the Softy chart so we can determine some things here. So right here, that is Meta. Let's go to Softy. So Softy right here. I don't know what that might be a little significant, that trend line, but I have no idea. Let's go to the hourly and kind of track. Okay, so that is a trend line from prior days, and we're holding some of that. A bit of a chop around that trend line, but it seems like we're holding in and around that area as of right now. So 15-minute chart right here. Look at that. That is the day low. We attempted. Oh boy. 440s, failure to follow through. We attempt to push 440s multiple times over and over again on Softy. Can't really make it through. That price is above VWAP, and now we're pulling back in on Microsoft. So could be interesting. Let's see, the low of day right here, 436s, like I pointed out, higher low right there, sitting at 437.28. So only about a point or less than a point away from that on Softy on the day. So let's see if Softy breaks its lows. Maybe we get that break in trend. But if it can't really do that, maybe we're poised for a continued bid to the upside here. That follow through of that FOMC trade. Oh boy. definitely some longs laughing straight to the bank off of today's open, the action that we got coming into the midday. Absolutely crazy. And some of these tickers continue to trade and higher and print some fresh highs on the day as well. So interesting stuff nonetheless.
I mean, shout out to our chat. I'm sure there's a lot of people there who are like, please just punch with their longs. Anybody holding like overnight calls, I'm sure you were like, hee.
Oh boy, yeah.
Like very laughing giddily. So shout out to you. And it's funny too. After that initial FOMC move, like to the downside, right? We closed near lows on everything. Cool. I had done some trading in the SPY. I had all my SPY plans written out. It was like, 561.80. Oh, if we break that, it's gonna be a short. And then SPY was like, hold my. I couldn't think of a good pun. Hold my beer, I'll just say it, because I couldn't think of a better pun for it. SPY, hold my web. Spider says hold my web. We get these higher lows, higher highs on the S&P 500. We are currently near high of day / I believe this is also all-time highs for the SPY. Like this market is on. This market's on one. I don't know how else to put it, but there are some opportunities here for a bit of weakness. Nvidia pulling back a bit as well. I know you're talking about some of those reversions there. Tesla a little reversey. Also, yeah, Apple I did get stopped out of at 229.20s. But Apple I arguably shouldn't have gotten back in this short. And that's not because the short isn't working. You know, there are definitely short opportunities there. I just should not have gotten back in. Okay, so Nvidia is doing something. Look at this Nvidia. Resistance. Support. All at 119.30s. We break below 119.30s in a salient way. What does Nvidia do? I don't know, but it's looking a little spicy. I am in 2 trades right now. I will talk about both of them. Amazon, okay, Amazon. So Amazon is a name I arguably could have stopped trading, but really, I mean, we talk about like the 3-strike rule, right? I think I took, in terms of like total trades, I took 2 shorts on this, 2 longs, 3 shorts on this, 2 long. I don't know. The point is, I've been risking it appropriately, and I haven't. I think I've been trading in a way that I think is appropriate. So, arguably could have taken less pops at this, but honestly, like the more times we have interaction with that 189.50 area, the more I am convinced that it's a level that I want to play with. So with that in mind, we break above 180, this thing, 189.50, I get long. I am risking into 189.25s. I took more size with this than I've taken with any of the other Amazon trades. Risking it more aggressively because I think if we get this pop, especially with these higher lows, like look at this trough. It's a higher low in terms of like the wider time frame here on the zone, but also it's a higher low like on a candle basis. So for me, there is some confluence for the upside. Now I could have been a bit more aggressive, gotten long at 189.30s, but that wasn't my play. I said Amazon to me only a long. If I see what we do at 189.50s, that is why I took that long. We're getting out half the position at 189.75s or around that area. I wish I could hold it for longer, but the last time it wicked into my area twice did not fail me. So I think my last idea for a profit-taking area might have been a bit conservative. I'm also still short Darden. So Darden, let's take a look at, just joking guys, it's DRI. Hopefully this one won't leave me high and dry once again, because last time it did on my stop, and I say that because the ticker is DRI. I think we're about to crack lower here. Let's see what we do here at 172.60s. Like I said, that is the area at which I will add. But honestly, I think what I need to see before that is a nice crack at 173s. This book gets a little bit like skittish and bullish every time we get to 173s. But we're doing some flickering here. So I talk about my bid creep and my ask creep, right? Bid creeping up, ask creeping down. But then sometimes I see a flicker. Well, you got like, in this case in DRI, with 173.07, 173.06, 173.07. It's like, now we're back to 173.06, right? So that's I usually interpret that as the spread of your stock is trying to figure out what direction it would like to go in. Given that I'm a short, I'd love for it to go to the downside. Really quickly, too, we're going to do a last quick summary here of our lesson of the day as we end the show. We did this a couple times here. But I mean, yeah, basically with what you want to see, I should have just gone to the start of yeah, there we go. That would have been easier. So basically, yeah, rounded bottoms, definitely going to be a bit of a reversal pattern here. Signaling transition from downtrend to uptrend. What you want to see here is a formation generally takes a little bit longer to form, and it's going to be long-term bullish reversal. So you got your rounded bottom here, then we pop. It is going to look like a U-shaped curve that reflects a gradual decline in the price. And there's afterwards going to be stabilization phase before or after a prolonged downtrend. Then what you're going to want to see here is a downtrend phase where you have the market declining with diminishing momentum, a flattening out of prices at the bottom, which shows the midpoint of the pattern, and last but not least, an uptrend phase, which involves a slow, steady increase in prices. Also, Darius Golden saying, I could have said, hold my spyglass. That's a really good one. I'm going to use that next, like your little magnifying glasses. Yeah, hold my spyglass, what I should have said there. Thank you. I appreciate that pun there. So you got your rounded bottom here, a volume increasing on the move way down, then coming increasing again on the way back up. Also, okay, DRI looks nice here. I'm just keeping an eye on my stocks. But basically, yeah, volume behavior, what you want to see here is like decline in volume during the downtrend. And when we're flat, then you're going to see an increase in volume as the price comes back up. What you really want to see here, too, is a volume spike near the breakout, which can confirm that the strength of that move. Yeah, Jay Lee, I don't really trade like OMEX-type stocks. I didn't look at it much just because I feel like I'm less kind of comfortable in that type of movement. I mean, if things set up, I'll trade small caps that they set up in the way I like. That one was not one I was looking at, I'm going to be honest. But yeah, rounded bottom here. You got actually two rounded bottoms in terms of volume. And it kind of shows there the increase. Then we push higher. So again, this pattern just kind of in psychology, we go from pessimism in early downtrend, then to a bit of a period of consolidation where you have the waning of bearish sentiment, and then the uptrend, which shows confidence and increased optimism before we break out. So that's going to be how this looks. Breakout confirmation is going to happen when you see a breakout above the resistance level. You've got that resistance level formed here near the start of the pattern, and then a surge in volume when the price breaks through said pattern here, confirming the validity of that reversal, and a proper breakout should be accompanied there by high volume. So here's one example. You have the neckline resistance. That's when you know this pattern's to the upside, especially as you get these higher highs pushing into it. So, yeah, basically one way you might want to enter this is getting involved here when the price breaks above the resistance with strong volume, placing your stop below the lowest point of the pattern for risk management, and targeting your price target, calculating your price target based on measuring the vertical resistance from the lowest point of the pattern to that resistance, and then projecting that upward from the breakout point, and that's going to give you a reliable risk to reward ratio. Also, then rounded bottom here, you've got the slup'em in volume, then you push up higher. Also, I love this type of slup'em, this type of thing that makes me laugh. I went to a restaurant once where the menu had like its menu items numbered, but not in the right order. So it'd go from like 82 to like 17 and then to 83. Like that type of thing lives on my head rent free. So yeah, the slup'em is funny to me. But in all seriousness, Sharif did not make that. He made the PowerPoint though, so shout out to Sharif for making that PowerPoint. And the slup'em gives us like a little bit of character, I think. So let's talk here about the reliability of this pattern. It's going to be considered a highly reliable pattern, but it is more common in longer time frames. So daily, weekly, monthly charts, which it indicates a solid sustained reversal, which does make it ideal for position traders and investors. You want to be patient though, because the time frame takes a little bit longer to develop. So that is our lesson of the day. So a bit of a speed run as we get there. 17 minutes left in this lesson in this show. How are you doing in the AAPL? Oh, that looks like a nice move down there. And do you have any other things you're looking at here to trade as we head the last 2 hours? I know you mentioned some of those reversions.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mentioned all the tickers that I have on watch. Again, SMCI, wow, TSM, holy, that thing is blasting to the upside right now. That's an aggressive candle right there through the high a day. But yeah, no, so is AMD. AMD printing fresh highs as of right now as well. So I'm kind of just waiting for some of these tickers for that bid to dissipate, and there has been no dissipation of the bid on some of these tickers here. So AMD and TSM for sure I got on watch, but something that might be a little bit better for a potential reversion if it does come in, we could just bid up into the close. I have no idea, but I'm kind of just patiently waiting for that softy. I guess no, that's TLT. I'm also watching some of these. Some of these bonds as well. TLT pushing to the downside as well. But yeah, Spider is making fresh highs as we speak right now. So oh boy, maybe a little bit scary for this Apple short that I am in right now. But Apple relatively, I guess, holding sideways as the markets push for some fresh highs. So maybe it's a bit of a laggard, or maybe it's just kind of consolidating while the market does its own thing. So I will continue to kind of participate in this move if and when it comes in. Meta is still pushing to the upside there. But yeah, other than those two names, Adara, Tesla as well on watch, because Tesla is super strong right now. But we did kind of top out at 243.97, and we're taking a bit of a pullback here as the market pushes towards its highs right there. So the high of the range right here on the NASDAQ and the ES, you can see the ES pushing as well. We just talked about the spider printing some fresh highs, as well as the arachnid continues to climb up the water spout. Yeah, TQ's pushing highs as well. So a lot of these ETFs and market related tickers pushing their highs. Very strong trend on the day. So I wasn't here for the beginning and kind of missed out on some of those longs. So I am looking for tickers where the momentum has potentially dissipated and looking to take them in. Wow, oh boy, look at that meta pop up. So yeah, we did bounce off of those 556s. I'm going to be looking for a lower high, maybe potentially at the same places where I like to sell earlier, that 560. We could potentially get to that 560 quite easily if Meta continues to push up and the market tailwind is on our side here today. So yeah, longs are definitely not wrong on the day as these tickers continue this aggressive bid to the upside. So maybe we are poised for a strong close today, Adara. So that's all I got on watch right now with only about less than 15 minutes left. Nothing too crazy. And there's a stop out on Apple there as it pushes to the upside as of right now.
Yeah, we got out our first chunk here of Amazon. Ended up taking out just less than half at the 75 level. Now my next area is going to be around 90s. That's another huge resistance level for me. Also, I know I said I'm trying to be less conservative with my stops. With this Amazon, though, this is a larger position, so I'm going to move this stop up here to prior bar lows on, let's see the 10-minute. I think that might make more sense. 10-minute prior bar lows are, okay, that did not make sense because it's a new 10-minute candle. You know what, Adara? Make up your mind. Work on exit rules. We're going to do the 55s, which is the 5-minute prior bar low. I'm cool with that. So we're going to move that now in 89, 55. In terms of where I'm going to be getting out, the next piece of my position, it is going to be 90s. What I like to do sometimes too is we end the show, we got about like 15 minutes left. I guess reflect on like what happened. Well, today I'm really proud of some of the trades I made. I think they're, in terms of a progress perspective, for me, I've always said the type of P&L I'm looking for right now as I develop, it's going to be progress and learning, right? Like, I would love to get to the point where, you can focus a lot more on profit and loss. But for, like, one thing that you've told me, Obi, that I know Wayne has said as well, that I really have tried to take to heart is the idea that, like, the profit comes after you get that progress working, right? And I think, like, the risk units I've been trying to use, I think that's been key, is just finding these little strategies to help improve, I guess, your chances, improve your understanding of the market and make the market work for you. And I talk a lot in terms of analogies. I like them in general in life. I've talked a lot for myself how trading, it's kind of like being in a jazz band, right? You're playing one tune, then somebody starts switching it up and like, oh, you got to switch up the tune. You got to do something differently. Like I play piano. So for myself, it's an analogy that makes a lot of sense to me. And I mean, in the case of this Darden, right? I get long, I join in the rhythm to the upside here, and then it breaks slow, you get out, and you see the rhythm still increasing. You're like, hey, mind if I join in? You hop in with the bands. And so I think, I find trading, it's kind of collaborative. You are kind of, I guess, competing with or interacting with all of these other competitors in the market, all these other participants. I think music's a lot like that as well. So that's why, that's what you're going to do here. Now, the Darden short, I said one of the things, as part of my balance the evidence, one of my biggest things here for Darden was the fact that we do have arguably a bit of a bull flag. That being said, definitely lower highs. I still think if we saliently break below the 173, which we have not on the ask, the bid is broken below 173, though, of course, right now it's back, and we're actually doing a bit of a bid creep, which I don't love, at 173, but let's see what happens here. Also, I would be remiss if I did not mention my meta trade, because that's a little bit, So, I should have gotten long at 557.50s. That was clearly the area of support. Getting long 558, risking to 557.50 is like, what are you doing, girl? So a little bit disappointed in myself for that. Let's see what we do with that 559, though. That was definitely a bit of an area of rejection. I need to keep an eye on that. So let's figure out what's going on here on some of these tickers. Yeah, Darden continuing to just kind of figure out its sense of direction. Amazon here, like I said, trying to take out another piece here at 189.90s, at which point I'll have just a little bit less than half of the position left. Long Apple, says Casro. Let's take a look at Apple. Okay. I mean, yeah, Apple pushing higher. Apple, not a look for me, but I think that 229 area, that's been an interesting support resistance flip. Lunar, says Ostentatious Productions. Let's take a look. Yeah, Lunar continue to push higher. I said 840 could be an interesting level on this. And yeah, Lunar's like, hold my space juice. I don't know. That didn't make sense. Lunar, the point I'm trying to make is Lunar's really strong. Shout out to everyone who called out this name earlier. Also, I want to look at, where did my chart go? I want to look at GAP. Shout out to, not GPS, GAP, which Day Trader Cut was mentioning, a couple other people mentioning. There is no news on this on social media, just people mentioning there was some selling. We're kind of trying to find that previous support at 2040, so the selling might have dissipated. We'll find out what happens there. Amazon continuing to try to find a sense of direction above 70s. I would love if it did. Also, I forgot to move my stop again on our lows, so that's a vibe. Right now, it's still at 189.55, so just above break even. Let's see what we do here on AMZN. But yeah, Palantir, that reversion above VWAP was definitely dope. I definitely missed that trade, but it's all good, baby. You're not going to get every trade in the market. You have to be making trades that make sense and learn from every trade you take. That's what I'm always trying to do. With that in mind, really quickly, before I finish, Coin. We had 2 trades on Coin. Happy with both those trades. If Coin breaks above that 171 saliently, which I think it's trying to, I like that base at 170.50. I might take one last, right, try to get the ATM filled here one last time at Coinbase before this midday session ends, Obi.
Yeah, so definitely that Coinbase is moving around nicely. Again, we saw what Bitcoin has did. You see, Trump paid for something using some Bitcoin in a New York restaurant there over. I think it was over the weekend, just recently, and yeah, definitely sparking some fresh interest in the crypto world as well. Oh, yeah. Again, whenever you get that presidential seal on something, you almost always could look for a potential reaction or potential reaction there on said equity, and Bitcoin definitely moving in and around that action. They're trading, I think last time I checked, trading back above 60,000 there. Let's take a quick check once again on the Bitcoin right there. Yeah, oh boy, we are definitely on a very strong trend here. So let's take a quick look at what we got going on here. So very, very strong push there. We were trading below 60s. We got below, a little chop. Look at that volume coming in on Wednesday, and then some on Tuesday as well, and pushing to the upside once again. Let's take a look at a higher time frame here. And yeah, within trend. So oh boy, yeah. So you guys can see, I already have a little bit of a line drawn out here. Trend resistance here on Bitcoin. So we're getting a nice little clean trend down there with a very, very wide range. I think it's about a 15,000 point range there, as the highs are 70s and the lows are about 55s here over and over again. We are incrementally making lower highs and lower lows here on the BTC off of that all-time high test at 73.80s. So definitely bigger picture backside on this one for now, but let's see what we do with this 50,000. Let's see what we do if we can break out of this trend resistance. Oh boy, we're definitely poised for a little bit of a run. We know that everybody's looking for that 100K market era. So we shall see. I think it's a matter of when, more than an if. With the way things are going, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, no, I got really nothing else on the board. These tickers are still hella strong on the day. But yeah, I got stopped out of Apple once again, and that's fine. I will kind of reassess a little bit later there. If and when some of these trends do convincingly break, I will be ready for that. And I was taking a little bit of anticipatory fills, maybe some over trading as well. For sure, some over trading. I'll call it like it is. Definitely doing some over trading on Apple there today. So got to do a little bit better with that. I am tempted to touch this 22930s right here. I see Neil definitely knows that song. Yeah,
he's dancing.
Neil, yeah, it's a solid song. What classics? Of course. Yeah, I'm not as good with with lyrics as good as I guess Adara or Neil. Definitely, they know a lot of lyrics to a lot of songs, and I tend to forget. But good songs nonetheless. Meta. Oh boy.
Yeah.
We're pushing back to the upside, aren't we?
Oh, we are. I was trying to get long here once again, and then Meta was like, well, you messed up last time, so I'm going to just leave you on red. And you tried to get down on the DMs, I'm just going to leave you on red, Adara. You don't get your 559 long, risking into 558.50. That's what I was going to do, by the way, just to give you guys a little recap of that trade. But, I mean, why am I sitting here complaining, OB? Because the market gives you so many other opportunities. Amazon, I got stopped out prior bar low, and now it's actually trying to break 189.80. So I was about ready to be like, oh, I got stopped out, and oh, it's all good though, because we got stopped. And then Amazon's like, actually, Adara, I did jump a cool 10 pennies from that point. So maybe stop complaining. Either way, it's like, you know what? You take the trades you take, and all you can do is you make the decisions you made, follow your plan. You can reflect on your plan later, like what you're saying with Apple, right? You can do that reflection later. But in the meantime, you have to, like, as long as you trade it appropriately, or as, you know, you're ready to learn. If you didn't trade appropriately, I think that's pretty key. Like I said, my biggest learning opportunity, both those meta trades, I should have been waiting for the trade to come to me instead of coming to the trade. Darden. Oh, Darden. I'm extending this olive branch to the makers of Olive Garden. Please come lower. I don't know why I'm singing, but I can, so I will. Not like I can't, like, not well, but I just enjoy singing. But I meant, like, I have vocal cords. Rant over. 173, as I said, if we break below the ask on 173, if we break below 173 in the ask on Darden, like, all I'm asking for it to do is to push lower. Okay, we are getting closer. We got a bit of a creep to the downside here on that bid. Let's see what happens here. I'm not, like I said, really, really small position. I am not adding until we get to 172.60. If we get to 172.60 and we floosh, I am adding though, because I really love that level. Look at how long we stay kind of stagnant at this level before we flush lower. I like this look. I am happy with this stock. I feel really proud of what is going on over here. Nanya Biz making a joke here saying Adara knows all the Taylor Swift song words. No, I do not. My father might, because, and if you watch this story, Dad, I continue to make this joke because it's true. Former Taylor Swift fan, but I was never one. So, yeah, no, not a fan. Let's see, Darden, though, I think is getting that nice V-shaped retracement. I really like that look. Coinbase, honestly, I feel like it might be doing a bit of a hockey stick. Like Sharif talked about that hockey stick pattern, where you can have that move down and then you consolidate. Either way, any long I would have liked near 171 is not going to happen, so I don't want to force it. Meta, what did you do? And Meta, did you dip? Meta dip? Oh, okay. Meta interesting here around 559. Let's see what happens, though, here on META. Getting a bit of an ask creep to the downside. Will we break below 559 viciously on that level? Yeah, Nanya Biz, I figured you were messing with me. It was pretty funny, though. Either way, good luck to, everybody involved in this market, because this has been wild. I'm going to pull up the SPY really quickly as well. Meta really trying to hold on to 559 here. This is fascinating, but I'm not rushing into that. META getting some topping tail candles here, Obi. We get one, come up here, green candle, 572.80, then we floosh. So let's see what happens here on the SPY. But right now, what I'm spying is a potential move down here, but we could have some support at 572. Let's wait and see what we spy on that SPY. Darden finally cracking below 172, or 173, sorry, on that ask.
Yeah, so that 560 is holding right now. I guess on the ask we're trading at 559s on Meta, and the high right now is at 559.70, taking a bit of a pullback here on this I guess Meta platform. So that 556 definitely a bit of a platforming area here as it kind of comes in potentially. Let's see if we can get a move to the upside here. Apple with a bit of a pullback here, but like I said earlier, every single kind of aggressive flush continues to be bought up over and over again, and I guess I am involved once again. And yeah, so I guess my bad habits keep me coming back to you, Apple, as this thing kind of chop to the upside, to the downside, but overall bigger picture trend, you can see it on the market, man. Absolutely crazy here. So maybe this is I'm definitely kind of fighting the trend here, but keeping it tight a little bit. But paper cuts, death by 1,000 paper cuts, not yet. But we'll continue to kind of participate in this move if it'll kind of take a little bit of a pullback. I'm seeing Google, a bit of a double top action on Google here. What are those tops? 163.36s. Softy as well comes right back up into 440s and pulls back in quite aggressively as well. So going to keep an eye on that one as well if that will come in. So gonna I guess going into the later half of the day here, gonna keep my eyes peeled for any other kind of strong action there, looking for reversions on some of these tickers there. Maybe that, you know what, looking like we're gonna be bidding up. We're gonna continue to be bidding up here on tickers like AMD and TSM. SMH still super strong at Adara, so oh boy, definitely that bid is coming in bigger picture off of the FOMC rate cuts.
Yeah, well, just
crazy.
Crazy rate cuts. Thank you so much for being here with us, Obi. Oh boy, we'll have to FOMC what these markets do tomorrow. Shout out to you guys. Hope you guys have a great day. See you tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. We got the big kahunas at that big desk.
See ya.
Hey, welcome everybody, and welcome to the afternoon show. The big desk. These are exactly, I mean, you're talking about identical. The two